You may overtake my body. I accept you into my heart and soul. Please, if you are here, take control of me. Use me as a vessel.
Gross.
Nothing.
Yeah, no ghosts. So I guess the lesson of Beaver Creek is there's no such thing as ghosts, there's no God, and the Bible is a lie. Off to Helltown to find out what the government's up to in the middle of fucking nowhere, Ohio. Hell yeah, bumping out here. Can I get some of this safety herb in my lungs, please? And thank you, are welcome here. Jake, you can't have any because they drug test.
Yeah, if you go to work, man, you're gonna get drug tested.
Jake, you son of a bitch! You get out here! Hey, Jake! Ain't coming. He ain't coming because he's afraid of me, Brian Quinby from Street Fight Radio. Brett, would you like a shot at Jake?
Yeah.
Oh, I just fell in a hole. That was Jake. That was all Jake. I think we
Jake
found
do
the
that?
ghost.
Jake won't let you see your mentions.
He's like, don't look at your phone while you're at work, motherfucker.
How many times have you gone into work and then looked at your boss and said, what are they doing? You ever think about the levels at a job, Brett? Of course, the people on the very bottom. What do they do?
Usually clean.
Yeah, and then there is the people just above them. They're the ones that do the second hardest job at the place, right?
Deal with customers?
Yeah, that sort of thing. And then there's another level above that, and that's the manager that's in the place. Now let's think about what comes after that, right? You might have a guy named like Glenn that comes to your office every 6 months, and you have to lay out the red carpet for Glenn. Think about what the person above Glenn does. Jerry is the person above Glenn, right?
Okay.
His job is basically going to lunch, right?
Yeah, powerful meetings, shaking hands real hard.
We're gonna go up to the CEO now. The people that sit around a table and who knows what they're doing? Nobody knows what they talk about.
Playing cards.
What connection does that person have to what you do and what the customer gets? It just seems like you could really chop like 5 or 6 levels off of any job and the company would still run perfectly.
Think about your job. Now imagine your manager isn't there. How much smoother would your day run?
I mean, how many of you work a job where you don't even know who the fucking CEO is of the company? That means they're absolutely useless. They're parasites.
They're on the top, getting most of the money, sending their kids to private school, driving the fanciest cars, and they can't make a sandwich. Every new level of hierarchy is more money coming out of your paycheck. Unions are fucking great because it's not HR.
You need solidarity.
Hey everybody, welcome to Street Fight Radio. We're here taking calls. It's Sunday night, time for a call-in street fight. You can get a hold of us. The number to dial is 614-655-3887. We'll be hanging out a while. We do this from 9 p.m. to midnight Eastern Standard Time every single Sunday. We got to do... I'll talk to you later. Let's figure out a date by the end of the show. Let's figure out when we can do the next ABCD call-in, because we keep putting it off and we just need to call it.
Yeah.
We've got a few Sundays open soon. We'll have it by the end of this show. So stay tuned. Don't miss out for the exciting announcement. If you don't know who we are, my name is Brett Payne. My co-host is Brian Quinby. We're Street Fight Radio, the #1 anarcho-comedy radio show on any station across the nation. We've been doing it out of Columbus, Ohio now for 9 years and going strong, spreading this mess across the U.S. and so blessed to hear from all y'all out there fucking shit up and fighting for change and a better world and not taking any shit. I'm really proud of everybody. And that's what we do the show for the rabble-rousers and the muckrakers and every fucking rude person out there that's ready to go riot if Bernie Sanders isn't the nominee. So this is Street Fight Radio. You can listen to us every single week on podcasting platforms 2 times a week, Wednesdays and Sundays. If you want more than that, we put out premium audio feeds, premium video, and digital zines over at patreon.com/streetfightradio. That's the place to support what we do and help us expand our operation. Thanks for being here.
Oh, you're welcome. I appreciate it. March 8th, ABCD show, March 8th. It's the last show. It's not the last one. It's daylight savings time. It seems like just the day to do it.
March 8th, anybody but cis dudes call-in show, March 8th.
March 8th. I put it in my calendar so we won't forget either.
I'll get a poster made.
And Brett will get a poster made. Yeah, man, I've been watching MSNBC clips for 2 days.
I heard you over there. You were getting a little taste before the show started. It's Chris Matthews' crazy ass voice.
It's so weird to me. I feel really like, you know how, okay, we talked about this before, but I don't want to throw it out there. Remember that movie Good Night and Good Luck? That movie?
Yeah.
Or like some of the, not Network. Network would be the wrong thing. All the President's Men.
Yeah.
And like all those movies that celebrated journalism
Prestige
as like this thing. And now the fucking TV is just like the Running Man. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It is really... I saw this happen. This happened in 2016 too, right? With Trump. They were just breathless about it. They couldn't figure it out. They were freaking out about it. Good reason. Yeah. Trump's a fucking wacko. And he's scary, and we didn't want him running the country because he was basically promising war crimes and a lot of other bad stuff. Of course.
Right.
But also, it's like, don't you think that they could have maybe handled it in a way that was less hysterical?
Sure.
You know? And now this time, they're doing it because of Bernie Sanders. And, you know, here's the thing. I don't think that any primary for the rest of time will be normal. Or for at least for the foreseeable future, they are not going to know who is going to win the primaries, and they're not going to be able to forecast because it's always going to be somebody they don't like. So they will talk about a bunch of people that they like, a whole bunch. You know what I mean? But then in the end, people will pick somebody that they don't like because they hate them, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what I think is happening. But MSNBC on Saturday during the Nevada primary was just like, I've never seen so many people melt down and like show their ass ever.
What were they doing?
Chris Matthews compared it to like Nazi Germany taking over France, I believe, which is a wild comparison. First of all, because also Bernie Sanders is Jewish, which makes it weird when you like, I think it makes it weird when you compare a Jewish guy to Nazis.
Yeah.
That's just a thing that I believe.
The lost family members in the Holocaust.
Yeah. When a guy lost immediate family members in the Holocaust, calling him a leader of Nazis is semi-insensitive, I believe.
Okay. Wow, Brian, don't get too... Now you're trying to, like, not show your ass. You're like, I'm going to be very measured journalist.
That's not
Mr. Chris Matthews, how dare you accuse a Holocaust? Yeah.
It was Chuck Todd first, though. He just straight up said that they're brown shirts. Oh, got these brown shirts after me. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude. And, like, they think, like, brown shirts were, like, walking up into places and beating the crap out of Jews, you know, and, like, killing them and, like, breaking their stuff and taking their shit. And Chuck Todd is really just talking about people telling him to get fucked on Twitter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
From someone saying Tuck Chod to him.
Or like Chuck Turd.
Yeah.
Or Piss Matthews.
Right.
They're like mad.
Because he's, yeah.
That is, can you
That
imagine that being the thing that makes you mad? I would hate it. I would hate if every tweet had 50 responses that say like Tuck Chod on them.
I don't know if I don't know. I mean, what does he get? I mean, his life he has a lot of money, right? A lot of access and stuff, but he can't, but like that he can't get over that is just makes him look miserable, makes him look this small.
He's also, you know how Nick called me a cartoon character for the premiere and said just wear your regular clothes because that's what people expect. Chuck Todd and Chris Matthews are also cartoon characters.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like, I am not supposed to be a serious man. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I'm supposed to be a goofy fucking aloof, like fucking mook or whatever it is.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm supposed to be just a crude dipshit. You know what I mean? That's like my whole thing. Mm-hmm. Those guys are supposed to be serious, and that Chuck Todd walks around with that fucking goatee, and I could never have a serious conversation with him with that facial hair.
Really?
Do you look at his facial hair? It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. That he has it.
He does he puts like a scotch glass around his mouth and then and shaves around it, right? Is that what he does? Is that how you
he
get
probably
that?
has somebody else do it now. He probably just gets to say like, give me the Chuck Todd. You know what I mean? Like, he's just like, give me that Chuck Todd.
Yeah, he's a miserable looking guy.
Oh, I know, man.
He just looks like
his underwear smells bad to me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Skid mark underwear.
Chuck
he just looks like a bank manager to me.
Yeah, no. I think he looks like one of those garbage guys. Like guys that like pick in the trash and also poop, like get little real juicy farts in their underwear, but not really poop their pants, but like they're like, I should have gone home and changed after that one, you know?
Yeah, those guys.
That's what Chuck Todd looks like. He's just a garbage man. He looks like he smells. He looks like the Big Show. The Big Show is a guy that looks like he smells. Chuck Todd looks like the Big Show. Chris Matthews, on the other hand, he looks like a drunk guy that yells at you at the bar. That's what he looks like. And I bet you, and I'm not trying to like level any accusations over here, I'll bet you they're both drunk, you know. And Chris Matthews, very easily. I've been thinking about this a lot lately too. How many of these people, I'm going to get a guess out of you. What percentage of these people is on coke like all day? You know what I mean? Because I think there's a lot of it.
You can't do it all the time though, dude. It spirals you out.
Oh, really?
You can't make it a part of your regular routine.
Okay, let's say it is
booze. You can. You can sip on hard liquor, especially if you have to go in front of people. It does make it easier. I mean, I definitely utilize it for that.
What about cocaine on big primary day? Like, so
yeah,
Super Tuesday,
sure.
What percentage of these people is doing coke?
You probably need a lot of extra time.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to put a lot of extra time in for this bullshit. You're gonna be up all night spinning webs of lies.
Red Bull isn't gonna do the trick, you know.
Sure.
Coffee isn't gonna fucking do the trick, and these people are like sweating all the time too.
Yeah.
When you watch them, you just see them, and they're like, "This guy's sweating."
Yeah,
He's
I don't
nervous.
know. I would go there. I would use it.
You think you'd go back to your dressing room and just do a couple lines in every commercial?
Yeah,
bring you back, and you're just getting more and more intense as the night goes on.
I'd be fine.
I mean,
I'd do a good job.
I just
I
feel
wouldn't
like
overdo it.
These guys like sometimes will work like inhumanly long days.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they come in at 6 a.m. and then something happens and they're supposed to stay late or something, or
like you look at something like Super Tuesday, right?
Yeah,
these guys are gonna get in there at noon and work until all the elections are called at midnight or 1 a.m. and they're just gonna be maybe 3 a.m.
What's MSNBC? Is it always people talking?
Yeah, yes. MSNBC is technically is the wrong one. So here's the news stations now. I'm going to explain the news stations to Brett. CNN, they are trying to middle.
Okay.
They're just like, we are maybe some Republicans, maybe some Democrats. This is like right down the center. they trend conservative, but only to me, because centrism trends. I think fucking most Democrats are conservative. So,
Yeah.
But they trend. Okay, Fox, obvious, right wing. You know, MSNBC is supposed to be the left choice. But a couple years ago, there was a memo that went out that said they wanted to pull right in order to get some ratings back, because their ratings are terrible. I mean, like, there are shows on there that get less viewers than we get listeners. And like, so they're trying to get some of their ratings back. So they did pull a little right, but they're still supposed to be like the Democrat channel.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like the Keith Olbermann was on there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Who's on there now? It's like a bunch of people. It sucks because they got rid of all the like Phil Donahue. Remember him? He was so interesting, that guy. The way he talked, he'd be like, hey, you know, I think a marginal tax on the wealthy. What say you, John? Or something. That's
Really?
Phil Donahue. Yeah, he would yell. Now I think it's Rachel Maddow. Chris Hayes.
Oh, yes.
Chris Hayes' baby, though. He's like the baby guy.
He's
that
young.
goes on TV.
He's a whippersnapper.
Well, yeah, and he also always says like baby-like stuff. His actual show is called his podcast, I think, is called What's Happening. Like, he's just, I got to look up his podcast, because the things he brings up is like he'll be real surprised at everything that happens. Like, I can't believe this happened, you know. And his podcast is he's like a cherubic. He like carries himself like a young angel man.
Okay.
That goes on the TV and doesn't understand why all the bad stuff happens.
Okay.
So
Good move.
I don't know. I'm gonna try.
It is funny for them. It is funny for. I mean, it isn't funny, but it's discouraging for me to hear the clips that you were playing of them just being so pissed that Bernie Sanders won, and then audio of them just being like, yeah, unfortunately, Bernie Sanders won with the Latino community. You know, they're just like so mad and beat up and just can't make any sense of it.
I like the "What are we gonna do to stop him?" Like, just out front saying, like, what are we gonna do to stop this guy? And there's been a new thing this week. Never expected this to happen, Brett. Never. But now the new thing is Republicans are going online and on TV and saying, I was thinking about voting for a Democrat this year, but you run Bernie Sanders and I can't do that.
That is great.
I know.
That is beautiful.
It's a move. I know it's a good move for them.
Great move, yes.
That's like some kind of thing you could do if your career was like, if your relevancy was going down because you couldn't forecast what was happening. You'd be like, oh, but I was going to vote Democrat, so maybe come and talk to me. It's interesting, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of them will say, like, you're not convincing me to vote for your candidate. And I'm like, fine, I don't care. Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Especially because all of them were going to vote for Trump.
Yeah, they're Trump people.
I like push the narrative. I pushed the theory today that even all those never Trump people, they all voted for Trump.
They go vote for Trump.
Yeah, they voted. They just don't say it out loud.
I agree. I
Yeah.
say they're like, that man is just despicable. And it's like, but I would prefer him over any Democrat, and that's why I voted for him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and these people would have voted for Trump over Biden, too. Or fucking Klobuchar, or any of these. They would have voted for him no matter what. You can't win them. They're Republicans. Which, that's the new thing I'm excited about, because it looks like we're going to be past the post here soon with the nominations. So we know who we got running. And if Sanders gets the nomination, that means that we get to go online and treat it like 2011 and yell at conservatives, which is the best.
Yeah. Now we need to go take down some really stupid people. They already started with that dumbass meme doing the math. Bernie Sanders is going to take a 52% tax on people making $29,000 a year. You see that one?
No.
Are you serious?
There's no way that's
I came out of Facebook fighting to yell at an old coworker of mine. I said, "You're a goddamn fool to believe that."
52%.
Yeah, they're like Bernie Sanders supports a $15 minimum wage, but he also said he's going to tax everybody at 52%. So let's do the math: $15 an hour, 40 hours a year. $29,000. He's taking 50%. You're getting $14,500. And it was James Woods that started it.
Oh, of course.
It's a screenshot of a James Woods fucking
My
bullshit.
guess is that James Woods would end up having to pay 50% of his money in taxes because he has a ton of money. You know what I mean?
I got the guy to delete it immediately. He didn't even respond.
dumb?
Yeah, he felt super dumb because he barely gets any response. He gets like 2 or 3 likes on his shitty conservative. I went through his profile. He shares stupid shit, but that was the first one I've seen from him in so long. Probably because it had Bernie in the name. Is probably why it came into my feed. I'm guessing.
Yes.
And then I was just like, and then at the bottom it was like, think before you vote. And I was like, said something. I said, shut the fuck up. Think before you post. This isn't real. And then he was gone.
Yeah, because he doesn't want friction. He really there are people on Facebook, I believe, that want to post into the void, because then in their real life they can like sit down and tell people like, oh, I post all these like really convincing things on Facebook and I change a lot of minds and we have thought-provoking conversation.
Well, that's what I think too. I think it's a matter of signaling like, I read this article. I read this meme. I did a little bit of thinking about this. You know, you should know this about me. That I've done the math.
I think it's a smart thing, and this is for all you conservative listeners out there, you know, that are listening to this show. Maybe you're picking it up on WCRS or something, you're conservative. I think a good policy for Facebook meme sharing, don't screen cap tweets, because they are wrong.
Yes.
Like they are not going to do what you want them to do, you know? And the reason they do it is because I do think that if you're like a Facebook exclusive talent, I call everybody online a talent. So if you're a Facebook exclusive talent, I think you do look at Twitter as that's the more intellectual one, because that's the one all the journalists and stuff are on, and all the celebrities are on. Sure. So you look at Twitter as like, these are the smart people, so I can just cut this out and post this on my Facebook and everybody will believe it because it's a Twitter.
They're doing all the thinking.
Yeah.
They're doing all the math for me.
Yeah.
They did all the math. You know.
James Woods doing all the math is incredible. Just being like, James Woods, man, just do Diggstown 2, man. Just
please give up this horse shit and do Diggstown 2.
But it is. I do like the idea. I do think it is. The meme. I have not seen the conservative memes yet. I haven't seen them go in yet. They're
going to embarrass the shit out of themselves.
Oh, I know,
they're going to look so bad over this.
The Facebook stuff is. The fights are going to be like pay-per-view level internet fights. Because I really think, like, when you start thinking about, like, the age of support of Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump, you are going to see grandmas get disowned and yelled.
Well, there's going to be entire TikTok. There's going to be entire TikTok sections of guys dressed up in their military outfits and accidentally shooting themselves in the foot. There's be gun mishaps while they're trying to run drills. Some guy's like running through his backyard and trips and falls on his gun.
Which I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Which convention are you more excited to go to? Because I have a thought, but I have a thought of which one, but I'd be interested in what your excitement level is for. We're going to both the RNC in Charlotte and the DNC in Milwaukee. And I'm wondering what you're more excited for.
I don't know why, but I am a Southern guy, I think. I like the peaches and the pecans, and I like greasy fried food.
Okay. Now let me.
But Milwaukee has lots of greasy fried. Milwaukee has way better food for me.
Yeah.
Milwaukee's an incredible place because they are one where like you can go and get like a half of a pig's face for your friend, and then they'll have a vegan half of a pig's face.
They do. They got great food there. Milwaukee has like really good vegetarian options too.
Vegan head cheese.
But here's the thing about, I'm not talking about the cities. What do you think the atmosphere? Which convention do you think the atmosphere will be better around? Because here's mine. I'll just give you mine right off. Okay. So I went to both last time. And I gotta say, and I'm not trying to be a prick, and there is one extenuating circumstance. Obviously, if there's a broker convention, Milwaukee's the one I'm most excited about. Because who knows what the fuck's gonna happen. You know what I mean? But the Republican convention last time was fucking wacky as hell. I mean, you get the wackiest fucking people in the world standing outside there for Donald Trump. People painting fucking murals of Donald Trump fucking flying the Space Shuttle Challenger and shit like that. You know what I mean? There's people dressed up in like all kinds of American flag shit, just celebrate. And then there's always a black bloc that just comes rolling through and starts yelling at old people. It's really a time.
Yeah, there's also a lot of dark money there. So you have like the Teens for Trump that are, you know, they fill a gambling bus full of old people to come up there and do a Teens for Trump booth or
Friends
something.
of Coal. There were so many Friends of Coal dinners at the RNC that we walked by where it was just ghouls in suits going into a restaurant to eat in honor of coal.
Yeah. I the DNC last time was pretty good. The DNC is a good just because you'll see a lot of people that we know, and it will be like a sympathetic crowd. And I think there's going to be a lot of wild ass people there, which is nice because, you know, like you see somebody that like, you know, has that kind of glint in their eye that they're, you know, here to cause trouble, you know, to raise hell. There's going to be more of that. And where the Republicans just are, I mean, they just are an embarrassment. That's the thing. That's what I was saying to you actually yesterday was that Jordan Peterson is a fucking wreck. And all of these right-wing people over the last 4 years, the last, you know, 8 years really haven't been able to maintain any sort of like stable footing. They can't. They get fired. They get embarrassed. They are all fucking perverts and weird-offs, and they can't keep the grift going. They can't just have a steady career when it comes to that, being a talent online.
Yeah, you're an online talent, but I think I think something that you have to keep in mind for the conventions is that so we went to a few parties for the DNC last year because there were parties that there were parties that the Chapo guys were invited with that they snuck me and Brett and Stefan and Rob into.
Yeah.
But
we to the nib party.
Yeah, so we went to a few parties and stuff, but and we went and hung around the arena and we went and walked around quite a bit and stuff like that. And it was like a dead sort of atmosphere. It's like we were having the best time of our life. This is the first time we're hanging out with people that we are actually friends. This is the first time I met Will. This is the first time I hung out with Felix. And the first time I hung out with Stefan and Rob and all those people. This is like the first time I was meeting these people. I'm having this like really great time. But I do feel like the vibe there felt like a death march. Like the actual, like outside of the arena, like everybody was so depressing. And also at the Republican convention, Alex Jones put on a big show on a stage where he had like Diamond and Silk and he had Milo Yiannopoulos. He had all those people come up. All those fucking conservative freaks showed up for Alex Jones. Plus Eric Andre came and interrupted it and ruined everything. And it was just like, this is a fucking circus. This Trump shit is a fucking circus. You know what I mean? It's just like my favorite event. Favorite is a weird word to use, but the event that I've been to, the most newsworthy thing I've been to since we've started traveling to newsworthy things was the inauguration.
Yeah.
That was wild. And I get the next one, wild no matter what. Wild no matter what. Trump wins, wild. Sanders wins, wild. So that's going to be fun. The inaugurations are weird. They're like, it's a really weird vibe because there's this like sense of inevitability. And the odd thing about like the one we went to in 2017 was there were so few like Trump people.
Yeah.
And it was just weird because you saw them and they looked a little freaked out a little bit as they were like on the subway with all the scum like us standing around making fun of their shirts and their hats because, you know, I just wonder if things are going to heat up.
Yeah.
In the summertime to the point where we get the weird bikers for Trump, the fucking all that. I wonder if we're going to get all that weird stuff this time, or if that enthusiasm has been tamped down a little bit and Democrat side, if Bernie Sanders is the nominee, that enthusiasm will be the thing that
That
runs over.
Yeah, that'll bring us goofballs out.
But goddamn, I love hippies though. I love seeing weirdo hippies too. Remember that guy that lived in a fucking little shed with a llama and like 6 other animals?
Yeah,
At
it was
the,
a mobile farm.
DNC.
Yeah, we just stood there and like petted his goat.
I know. He had an alpaca, didn't he?
Yeah.
That fucker lives with an alpaca in a mobile facility.
Yeah.
Incredible life. Hey, how do hippies do it?
I mean, they just keep running. Like, nothing tells them to not. They just live free, man. They just have no governor on them.
But how do
as long as they don't have kids. But if
Yeah.
you're just like, well, I don't mind. I like the animals. You know, of people I don't like, right?
So I was listening to.
I don't know how you can sleep with animals like that.
I don't either. I was listening to a show a couple weeks ago, and this guy was talking about this, like, which I want to do it now, but I'm nervous and I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to look it up. But there's this convention for hippies. Happens in a national park every year. About 50,000 of them show up. Thing is, it's not like legal. They just like say we're all going to this park.
Okay.
And so they have to like dig latrines and stuff, and they just fill this park and have like a rave and like do drugs, and they like hang out, and they're just hippies. Now, it was Moshe Kasher that was talking about it when I heard it, and he said it's the worst experience he's ever had. And I was like, I would love to have that bad experience. Like,
Yeah.
I would love to like
Have somebody come up and hug you and they're covered in mud or something.
Dude, this woman, the story he told was there was a woman who was hugging everybody, and she was obviously like rolling pretty big, and she just took off running through the crowd, and he saw her running and like stopping to hug people and like shaking their hands and stuff like that, and then stepped right into the latrine and was up to like her chest and shit. And then see, this is the beautiful part though. This is what made me want to go. Another woman jumped in and pulled her out and helped her get cleaned off. And I was like, so I hate hippies, but like being a jump in shit to save a person you don't know person, that's
Because
because I would have just stood and looked.
You're like damn,
damn,
it almost hit your mouth.
damn, girl, damn, don't get that near your orifices.
Yeah, close your eyes. Somebody grab her by the armpits or something.
That is like a big nightmare to me, the porta potty thing, because I saw it happen at Woodstock 99.
What?
It's because those things are full of doo-doo, and if like the wind blows real hard, and I always think the wind's gonna blow and the porta potty's gonna fall over, and I'm
While
gonna
you're
be in it. Yeah, I always think that. That's like one of my irrational kind of panic attack things when I'm in one. I'm always like, if a car like veers off the road or something and hits it, knocks it over, or if Jason knocks it over while I'm in it just because he thinks it's a funny gag.
Yeah. Love pushing those things over.
We used to do it a lot. That's why I said Jason. We used to push the fucking porta potty over all the time. We used to want to do it with somebody in it, but we got too... I think we were like really bad. Obviously, we were pretty bad people, but I think we were too good of people. Like, we still had like a shred of humanity that was like, okay, let's like not push the porta potty over when somebody's in it.
Yeah. No, that's true. No, that's funny. No, I agree. I didn't do a lot of attacking strangers, but there was this story of one of my friends who was this like really buttoned up kid that I thought was a nerd, and he got a paintball gun because they trusted him with a paintball gun, and he went out and knocked on people's doors and then shot them with the paintball gun when they answered. And I was like, you can't play like that. Like, you can do that to your friends and shit, but they're calling the police on you for that shit.
So Jason might remember. Jason, I know you remember this. I don't know if we knew who did it. It was not us. But somebody burned a porta potty to the ground.
Oh, really?
Over at the elementary school by our house. You like walk. Oh, Jason knows who did it. Okay. Was it one of our people?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. So one of our people burned a porta potty to the ground. We walked over to the school the day after they burned this thing down, dude. And it was just a like melted goo on the ground. There was like, they burned it all the way to the ground. And I was just like, that is impressively over the line.
That is too much. Yeah,
you can't go over the line, guys. If you're gonna go out and vandalize, let's let's keep it a gentleman's vandalism.
We should have done this for teen. This is the real teen fight radio. Tell this to your actual teens.
Yeah, for real.
Like do annoying shit, but yeah, you can't go across those lines.
Yeah, I mean, you could. I'm not even like opposed to property damage. Really, I
No.
don't like necessarily care about that. Let's get some calls, man.
Yeah, let's use on the phone. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Welcome to the show. Who are we talking to tonight?
Well, it is working because I heard that.
It's working? I can't hear them.
I can't hear him
Oh,
either.
I hit mute. I had my phone on mute.
We're
you
trying
had
a new
sca-
system, so you
We
scared us.
just got a
there.
brand new setup. I was so worried.
System's working. What's up? Who's
I
this?
heard the beep, and I knew who it was. I was like, I didn't go through the whole "is this me" thing. I heard the beep. I was ready.
Thank
I
you.
introduced myself. I had it on mute. I messed up. Your system's good. This is Lucas from Connecticut. How are you guys tonight?
Great. How are you, Lucas? We're gonna be up there soon. Not in Connecticut.
I'm very
We're
excited
gonna be
for
up
that.
there.
Going to make it to at least one of the Northeast shows.
We're gonna be in Portland, Maine. I think we're gonna be able to announce that. Brett sent off to get the poster done, and we are working on getting Boston booked. And I think we're going to be able to announce that next week, probably. Not this week. We're announcing Florida this week. I think we can announce Hellfire 2 next week. What's up, Luke? Did I get your name wrong? Because I was
It's
thinking
Lucas.
of a Luke.
Lucas,
Okay.
I don't really get hung up on that too much, but yeah, it is Lucas.
All right, Lucas, what's up?
Just hanging out. I was delivering pizza, got home, called in, surprised to be the first call. But I got a good Facebook takedown. Brett was talking about coming out of Facebook, fight retirement for something. I got a guy to delete a post once. It felt pretty good.
How'd it go?
So he posted something. I don't remember even exactly what the post was, but it was something that was very divisive. It was blaming both like Republicans and Democrats for this issue, which I tend to agree with on just about everything. Not a huge fan of
Sure.
either party, as most Street Fight listeners, but that wasn't my issue with it. My issue was that he has previously called the Democratic Party responsible for breaking apart America, and how Republicans are like real Americans trying to hold it together and all this nonsense. And I looked at the page that he had shared the post from, and it was called something like Beer, Bullets, and Bibles.
Oh,
and
great.
the meme page was like boasting about in their about me thing, just like some white nationalist nonsense, and like talking about how the South should still secede from the North. And I was like, George, you're talking about how these things are like how Obama was super divisive, and you're sharing stuff that is like intentionally divisive. And rather than any sort of reply, he deleted it. So.
He's like,
Oh,
God
yeah.
damn it, you're right.
Well, you know what I think happens? Do you argue a decent amount on Facebook, or do you kind of keep to yourself?
I share a lot of like leftist stuff, but I don't typically engage too much with the people that comment, because my Facebook is at this point like mostly scouting volunteers from when I was a professional Boy Scout and street fight people. So there is some clashing happening in the comments, but it is not, I tend to not participate too much because I do know these people in real life.
Yeah, that's what's funny is I was talking to this with Natalie about how like the crossover from people that you know, and to see a fight break out in like your comments, and you don't have to do anything because you don't want to get involved. But if you do have a bunch, I had that change in mind too, where like I would post some sort of article and make a bold statement, and an in-law or somebody from work would comment, and there would already be like 8 street fight people that are like just dressing them down. And I'm like, I don't even have to fight my own battles anymore. This is fucking great.
So here's
You need a street fight posse on your Facebook.
I think some people.
Yeah, one street fight commenter told one of the scouting people, he was actually a scouting coworker of mine, he told him to shop for a coffin. And I was like, damn, saying what I can.
I know who that
Wow.
is. That's
Love
Jacob Anderson's catchphrase.
Yes, it is.
He tells that to all old people.
I think like people. So I haven't fought in years, which makes me curious about what. I'm not gonna go in on Facebook until unless I'm not going in on Facebook until it's Bernie versus Trump. You know what I mean? I'm gonna hold off. I don't think there's any way we're moving anybody in the Democrat side. So like, it's like whatever. But if it does become Bernie Sanders versus Trump, I think I'm gonna lay heavy on Facebook again, because I do like yelling at conservatives. It's like one of my top pastimes. I really get mad at them. And I have grown into a better sort of
Arguer.
not even yes, but a lot of times I just know how to have the kind of ironic distance it takes to not get crazy when you're in these things. So it's like when they start talking, it's kind of like, maybe I'll volley back and forth with a little bit of logic and reason. But at some point, I'm probably going to fucking say something rude and just make you go away. And I think that, like, probably... Now, again, this depends on the nominee. But by September, I will have the power that you had, Lucas, and you had, Brett. I think if I really work at it, I will have the power to just comment on a post and get it deleted.
Yeah.
I have to build my power back up. I feel bad. I feel sad for people.
For who?
I feel sad for some of the like the like not super passionate Trump people that are just kind of like, well, you know, he's different. He's an iconoclast. He's a smart guy or whatever like that. And I sort of feel bad for him because they don't know how stupid they look. Mm-hmm. And they also probably don't agree with anything that Trump is doing.
Right.
So it's hard for me. Like, so with my father-in-law, I will fight him. Me and him will go at it. I promise that. But like, I think like with people I don't know, I tend to be more lenient because I don't know if they have ugly politics. I understand what Trump is, you know, and I understand that like a lot of Trump's supporters are fueled by a kind of just hate that's not, and it sounds cliche, but what I mean is like just that like a lot of what they believe is just in order to piss off a certain segment of people, where like I feel like a lot of what we believe is a lot of what I believe, at least, is that like I just want to help everybody. And I do feel like if Sanders is able to get some of this stuff done, that like we are providing proof of concept for our beliefs.
Yeah.
And we can move further to the left after him if we provide a proof of concept to show them that we can make this fucking world better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I feel like we owe it to them because
yeah,
I feel like the Democrats owe it. I don't feel like I owe it to anybody, but I do feel like the Democrats owe it to like 2 generations of working class people to show that they don't think that they're idiots.
Yeah.
And like corn-fed morons. You know what I mean? And I do think that like, I think they owe it to them. And I think that like, this is our opportunity to be like, okay, how does it feel now that you don't have to worry about your health insurance? How does it feel now that your kid's going to get to go to college and you don't have to fucking worry about how you're going to get your kid into college? How does it feel now that you don't have to worry about going to jail for weed or I mean, his criminal justice plan is basically no jail time for any drugs.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how do you feel better now? Like, did your life dramatically improve? And I believe that it will. You know? If those things happen. Obviously.
Yeah, I think for the fighting thing too, there's no reason to be cruel. Like you said, there's no reason to treat them like they are demons because they're just disenfranchised people that want to create problems. But it is easy, like, you know, like the caller said, when you just roll up and like, you can like buy your logic them pretty easy and make them feel pretty bad about it. You know, to say like,
for sure.
You're against divisiveness, but you're posting the most divisive fucking stance that you can right now, and then they just to get embarrassed, you know, or to tell somebody like, hey, you could just link to Bernie Sanders' economic plan underneath any of those things and say, it doesn't say that in here. Did you bother to read it? You know? Yeah. You don't have to do anything beyond that. Like, did you bother to read what he said? You know?
You know what I'm going to do? You know how I'm going to turn a lot of people? I'm just going to every single day once he's the nominee, post the thing that says I will legalize weed on day one, because I really
That's what you think is get
I
people?
think that is all that. I think that's gonna get people. I think that more people are just gonna be like, oh man, I don't care about healthcare. I heard the best stoner laugh the other day. By the way, I was like walking through an alley. A guy comes walking out of the back door of a kitchen, and he's like. It made me like, it cheered me up for like blocks.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It was just like, that guy's happy.
They're so happy.
Yeah, somebody said probably somebody fucking quoted Family Guy.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And he walked out the back door and was just getting a laugh about the. Love it.
Love it. That's a good laugh.
But I like fighting. I can't wait to fight the conservatives.
Yeah, Lucas,
that's the big
glad to
excitement.
hear you brought the gloves out. You ready to fight again
Yeah,
on
I'm
Facebook?
glad to have absolutely. I'm glad I have a bunch of street fighters that are willing to put some Gen Xers that don't know what's up and baby boomers in their place, and also the occasional millennial that's just kind of confused. But my partner just got home. I'm gonna go say hey to her. You guys have a great night, and I'll see you when you're up in the Northeast.
Hey,
Thanks for calling,
thank
buddy.
you for your service.
We'll see you.
Thank you for your service, brave
But
soldier.
yeah, I mean, like getting people to delete things is like such a small victory because only you know about
yeah.
it. But boy, does it make you feel good.
Woo,
Like
you
that
just
is
go
a high. You know, I get what I
Inside
heard
of,
today.
it just lives inside of them. It's a guilt inside of them because they can't
know.
even tell somebody that they feel guilty. They can't get it off their chest because they go to somebody and say, "Hey, I posted a completely wrong thing," and someone pointed it out. Like that would make them feel better to just say it to somebody. "Hey, I fucked up today," but they can't. They just have to let it turn into a little ball of cancer inside of them.
So I heard something today that it's only good for the posts, really. But like I heard a rumor earlier today that Kamala Harris might endorse Bernie Sanders, and it gave me such a high in my heart because I cannot wait to see the meltdowns. If it happens, look, I don't like her. She's a cop. But, ooh, I love meltdowns, though.
The people that her supporters are very much never Bernie people.
Okay,
No, I'm not gonna. Actually, I wouldn't. That's not unfair. I'm sure a lot of people liked her and then moved to Bernie, but there is still a vocal. I'm avoiding this. I promise I'm avoiding all of this, and I still see some sort of screen cap from somebody that said we could have had Kamala, but white men had to get what they want, just like they do every single time. You know, it's like, all right.
Hey, we didn't get what we wanted in 2016. Well,
Yeah.
I guess we did. We got Trump. White
That's
men
what white
really
men wanted, yeah.
Trump back then.
We really wanted to win for us. One of the sleaze bags.
Let's get the next caller on.
All right. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight? I'm going to check my DMs to make sure no one's in there.
Hey, this is Daniel in Olympia.
How's it going?
What's up, Daniel? Did you say in London?
Oh,
You're cutting
Olympia.
out. Oh, Olympia. I thought you said London. I was like, that's a long distance one. What's up, Daniel?
Well, I figured since there was someone from Olympia calling last week, I should keep the streak going.
Yeah, I like this idea.
I wanted to give the Street Fight a early notice that the National Network for Abortion Funds fundraiser will be launching next week.
Next week? Or this week?
Yep.
You cut out a little.
It's launching this coming week.
You're talking about through Narrow, the bowling shit? Oh, no.
They're making it bowling focused.
Oh, the bowling thing. I think we're losing you, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I hope
All right. I'm going to jump off then.
Oh,
Have a good
sorry,
night.
dude.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time hearing
They
you.
got to get those towers fixed.
I don't know. Yeah,
Olympia. God,
That's
I haven't
when they-
logged into Facebook in like 5 days because I just avoid it. But I want to see what's going on there, and I just 45 fucking notifications and 7 friend requests. It's like, ugh.
Dude, the notifications are constant. They should turn them off because they're never relevant at all. They're just always like, hey, that post that you hovered over earlier has some new activity.
I know. That thing where, yes, exactly. Like, I won't even click on the goddamn thing.
but
It's like
they
a
know.
post you're following, and it's like, no. I clicked on it because I thought it seemed like bullshit.
Yeah.
And then I just looked at it because I have a fucking high tolerance for bullshit, and now I'm dealing with bullshit. You know, I don't care.
So we missed it. What's the abortion fundraiser thing? Let's check the chat. Maybe
NARAL, my man.
Is it NARAL?
I
Are they
don't
doing
know.
the bowl-a-thon? We need to do that. We're always out of town. I bet we will be again because it's always around April and stuff. So yeah, give money to your abortion providers, whether they be, you know, the big names or the independent.
Yeah, get like the indie
Indies.
abortion, you
Yes,
know,
providers.
the indies.
All right. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
I'm talking to Sarah.
What's up, Sarah? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. I've been a long time listener, first time caller, and all that.
Sweet.
I'm calling just because I haven't had a thing to call about before, but so I go to school at Temple in Philadelphia, and I study community development, which is like pretty cool, but it's also a lot of like take donations from billionaires to build housing. I'm like, well, we wouldn't need the affordable housing if if billionaires didn't exist, but you know, whatever, cool.
Right.
But I was gonna get a master's in city planning too, because they've got like an accelerated program, and I just dropped out of that. Don't worry, I didn't spend money on it, and I'm gonna try and be a labor organizer instead. So I'm like,
Wow.
very
Congratulations.
excited.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I just wanted to call in because I had a meeting with this group that does labor organizing here. I went and met with a guy who works there. It's called Unite Here, and one of the things they're working on right now is so an issue here is that all of our schools are like falling the fuck apart. Like there's asbestos and shit in all of our schools. They closed like 30 schools a few years ago. They're wildly underfunded. Meanwhile, there's all this development and like gentrification going on, and these big developers who are building hotels keep getting money from the state, like free money, to do asbestos remediation in old buildings to build hotels. And those new hotels that they're building are non-union. And Unite Here just like spent all of this time unionizing hotel workers. It's very fucked up. And there's a guy who's running for Senate here, state Senate, named Nikhil Saval, for the 1st District. So if there's any Philadelphia street fighters out here, you should maybe like try and get on that campaign. I met Nikhil the other day, and he's like super cool and very chill, and like Green New Deal for Philly, stop giving money to developers, like give money to our schools, healthcare for all. Like as far as electoral politics and all that goes, like this seems kind of worth it.
Sweet. That
Yeah.
sounds great.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I'm glad you found something that that was more in line with your interests, I guess. That is sometimes you find out that, like, you know, like you said, you're just careerifying like charity from billionaires if you're doing this community planning stuff. So trying to, you know, making more direct change, it sounds like a good choice, and I'm glad that you found a new option.
Yeah, thanks. Cool. Sorry, I get nervous, so I just sort of started talking. But yeah, it's like the bullshit thing about philanthropy is that you're like taking this money from billionaires basically just so they can like feel good about themselves and feel good about the fact that they're like, you know, oh, I helped build like, you know, 36 affordable housing units.
Right.
But affordable means like affordable to somebody who makes $30,000 a year, which is like not what we're talking about here. Like 25% of people live below the poverty line in this city. We just need free housing.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit
all just,
on the No Olympics episode I did as well. I mean, it's happening in all the cities. We have the similar situation going on here where there's like no air conditioning in our public schools, but there is all this development going on for zero taxes all over the city. They're renovating shit, but they don't have anything for like the public good. But plenty of mixed use shit is going up everywhere, and you know, I mean, it feels like, you know, they're gonna do it no matter no matter what we say, you know, like we have a group in Columbus called One Columbus that over the last 10 years has just like done project after project after project in like hardcore gentrification of the city to make it like a playground where they hope people from like DC and New York will move here for the cheap lifestyle and like work remotely and shit.
That is literally what's going on here. Like, people, there's all this. So I live really close to Fishtown, where Brace is actually Brace with TrueAnon. They're going to be doing a show, actually, I'm going to the show. They're doing a show really close to here, and it's getting insanely gentrified, and a lot of the people who are moving here to live here work in New York City, and they're just moving here because it's like cheaper than they can afford here. But I was just like looking at property listings for fun, and there's like $1 million houses going up in this neighborhood that like it's literally on the other side of the tracks. Like, it's so cartoonish. It's like there are people who make like between $0 and $9,000 a year.
Right.
Like, it's truly disgusting. And we've got the same thing. We've got a 10-year tax abatement here, so any new construction or like allegedly if you rehab your home with like all of the right licenses and everything, you don't pay taxes on that for 10 years. But like, I don't know any normal person who's getting a license to do like normal rehab on their house. So
Yeah.
It's like all just for new rich people. It's extremely fucked.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're fighting the good fight, and you know what's up. No longer living in the dark.
Do you mind if I plug the Nikhil thing just like one last time in case anybody's in Philly?
Sure. Absolutely. Hey, and we're going to be in Philly too. The tickets are going on sale secretly this week. Pre-announcement.
Oh, awesome.
We're playing some place called like Jim Billy's or
Johnny
something.
Brenda's.
And it's Hellfire Tour.
That's where TrueAnon is playing too.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah, you're going to be in Fishtown too.
I love Fishtown. I've been there.
Yeah, we know
Fishtown. Go to the L Bar.
All right. Well, we're going to be there with the District Sentinel Sams and the Trillbillies doing Hellfire 2. It is the kickoff of Hellfire 2, actually. It's the first show.
I'm so fucking psyched.
I hope so. It's going to be
Can
great.
I ask when it is, or is that a secret still?
What?
I think
it's April 29th. And you can buy the ticket.
29th.
Yeah, if you're like really in a hurry to get tickets, they're going to be up on Johnny Brenda's this week.
Yeah.
We're going to announce probably in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll have a poster and everything ready soon.
All right. Well, thanks for calling.
Dope. Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. Oh, yeah, and just go, for people in Philly, go to nikhilsaval.com. That's NIKILSAVAL.com. He's very cool. Okay, have a great night, guys.
Peace there. Have a good one.
Can I tell you that I told this on the other show I was on, No Cartridge. I told this on No Cartridge, but I wanted to, I just want to say this. So, like, in my neighborhood, there used to be a big warehouse, right? They got rid of it because the grocery company folded, and they're building a bunch of condos and stuff there. And all of them like get tax abatements, but like the city council will be like, if you upgrade our pool, we'll give you a tax abatement. And it's like, motherfucker, if you would have got the taxes, you would have been able to upgrade the pool on your own. So these motherfuckers gave us a water slide so they could overrun our sewer system. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they just announced like 2 more developments in my neighborhood.
Really?
Yeah.
Where at?
I didn't look at where. I just don't even want to.
Yeah, you just wait till they're there and then you'll flip them off.
There's just no space, dude. They just are taking. Oh, I've said this on this show. I moved to my neighborhood because there's trees. Like it's like, it looks like the suburbs.
Yeah.
And it's right in the city. So it's wonderful. It's just like beautiful. It is like the ideal neighborhood that you would see in like a TV show or something like that, you know? And now they're cutting all the goddamn trees down so that they can widen the road so that Nationwide Insurance can build another fucking building there.
And get more people in.
To get more people in. And they're building like huge condos. Condos just everywhere. And, oh, I know where the new development is. It's right, they knocked down a funeral home. And then they're just putting a tall condo, mixed-use condo development right there. It's just like... We don't need any more. We're done. We're full. Not Grandview in particular, but I think we got enough places for people to live now.
Yeah, let's do the consensus and then match that up to how many residences there are.
I like it. I like the idea of let's count how many people are here, and then we'll count how many houses.
Right.
And you can build a new house when there's not when all the houses are taken up. We're gonna let you build a new house, but not until then. And I guarantee we never get to the new building.
No, we
never. It just doesn't happen because fucking there isn't enough people, and they just want to keep building. I was just having this conversation with my daughter where she was talking about nuclear power and coal power. She's like, "What's your opinion on that?" To me, you know, and I was like, "Geez, nuclear seems fine to me." Because I've heard that from smart people that it seems okay, except for the waste is kind of bad, but coal is terrible, and stuff like that. And I said, but nobody wants to live by it. And you know what? The reason we're not getting any of this stuff, capitalism. They like the coal. They like burning shit. That's just the way shit is, you know? And because my wife was like, well, you really would rather have wind and solar. And I was like, good fucking luck. They don't make the kind. See, what the power companies want is you giving them some money every single month forever until you die.
Yeah.
They don't want you to just buy solar panels and then they have to give you money when you feed energy back into the grid.
Yeah.
Or like windmill. They don't want to give you I would put a windmill in my backyard any day. I'm not one of these fucking people, these rich people in Martha's Vineyard, which me and my wife have been scapegoating since probably the 90s.
Okay.
We've been yelling about these people since the night.
What happened?
Guarantee it. So in Martha's Vineyard, and this is just something I heard. I don't even know if this is true.
This is great. Yeah.
Yeah, this is really, but me and my wife talk about it all the time. Just cuss and spit at rich people. They wanted to put windmills in the ocean. By Martha's Vineyard. It's just out there. Like way out there in the ocean. You got yourself a big windmill and it's fucking generating power for the grid. And apparently these rich people were like, I don't want to look out my window and see a windmill in the ocean. And it just, that was probably my first like leftist righteous leftist anger, because it was just like, fuck you, man. Do you know what you know what? You don't fucking get to control what happens outside of your windows. That's how I feel. It's like if they fucking put a goddamn oil derrick in front of my house, they put one there, I don't know what to fucking do, you know?
Yeah, they shouldn't.
I don't want them to. My aunt one time though, really, she's wild as shit. This aunt, I never talk about her. You probably haven't met her or anything. She lives near Denison University because she's a librarian there. She's a Reform Party volunteer. And she lives on a farm. She has no TV and no internet. They just don't.
Yeah.
It's just books are enough. And pipe organs. She got a big pipe organ in her house.
Okay, cool.
And they ride around a tractor and
just,
dig in the dirt and shit,
yeah,
you know? They don't like grow
shit.
crops.
Okay.
That's not like they're farming.
Okay.
You know, they just have a bunch of fucking land and then they grow some of their own stuff.
Yeah.
Okay? They wanted to put a Verizon pole on her property. And they just kept offering her more and more and more money. And she fucking turned it down. They never got to build that Verizon tower. Which to me, I bet you they probably just build it on a lot. Like... one over.
Sure.
But at least she fought. I always like admired. First of all, I admire anybody that doesn't have a TV. That I'm impressed with.
Okay.
Hasn't had a TV since the 80s, dude. Never owned one.
Thought it was poison.
Did. Her kids would come to our house on holidays and they would just be like flies up to that TV, dude.
Just with their
damn
faces
kid's head would be on the TV like, oh my God. Didn't matter what was on. Football, He's like, fuck it, it's TV. I love this.
Yeah,
Weird
it's
kids.
exciting.
Ended up being weird kids.
I mean, that's not at all surprising. I mean, probably normal, but not for like the us. Like they're okay. I don't want to speak.
I mean, you don't want to say normal.
No, I know.
By any stretch.
I know. But I'm just saying that like our kids are just, we are accustomed to having 1 million pieces of information shot at us every moment of our life on every surface we look at.
Yeah.
And if you avoid that, I think that like the stimulus, the brain might be able to chillax a little bit.
Well, they're
more.
in college now. You think they fucking going butt shit crazy?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You think they're just fucking.
Oh God.
Just J and O, and
They're
like looking
knocking on people's doors and shooting them with paintball guns. Is what they're doing. Exactly what they're doing.
It's gotta be nuts. I don't even know if they homeschool. Do you know if they homeschool? They dumped my grandma's ashes on their land too.
Oh, that's tight.
Well,
I wouldn't put.
And they were just like, fuck it.
You don't want to live under one of those towers, though. I wouldn't want to live under that.
I would
give you a brain tumor, man.
Dude, I would let them. And
You want a brain
here's the deal.
tumor?
No, I don't want a brain tumor,
You would just
but
move?
I want a whole bunch of money. And I would just get the fuck out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we were. It's funny the Martha's Vineyards thing came up because I was talking to somebody about how there was that old there was a trash burning like waste place in the South End, and they like there was like a city forum and all this stuff, and they're like, you know, please stop burning fucking trash. We're right here. We have to breathe it and fucking, because apparently they weren't burning it at like incinerating it at a high enough heat, so there was all these like extra things that were being, you know, left behind in the water and the soil and everywhere. And it's like, could you do that somewhere else? Could you take that away where like there ain't people living at?
Frank Road, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
So I knew this dude growing up, and we had to write in our journals in the 5th grade, and this dude, just dumb as a fucking box of rocks. He's a good friend of ours growing up. Not a good friend. We hated him most of the time, and then sometimes we liked him. But anyway, I remember one time in his journal. Oh, okay, yeah. So one time I looked at his journal and it said things I hate, because we had to write about things we hate.
Really?
Yeah, it was weird.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's
a very
the
pessimistic
90s.
school.
It was like
school.
92 or something. You were still allowed to hate back then.
Okay.
They were like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So in 5th grade, we're writing things, or maybe it was things I don't like, but it was just things that annoy
Things
me.
I hate.
Right? And I wrote like a whole eloquent thing about not eloquent, but you know, I wrote a whole thing about something I didn't like, you know, because I like writing. This motherfucker just made a list and it had 3 things on it. Frank Road, sausage, and Huey Lewis in the news. Frank Road.
That's
the trash burning, animal burning place.
Yeah, there was like a
Inland Products.
Yes.
And what they would do is, I knew a guy that worked there, first of all. And he said sometimes he would get really frustrated and he would just go out and he would kick a dead pig. And I was like, this is what working people do. This is crazy.
Yeah, that's
it's dead.
Yeah,
already. They also had to put the South End's such a great part of Ohio. This is why I want our office on the South End. They had to put a sign outside of the plant that said, "We do not accept dead animals."
Right.
And motherfuckers would just pull it up and throw dead animals over the fence.
It was a
rendering plant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just smelled over there, and like he hated it. And sausage,
and
which
sausage.
is an odd thing.
Weird choice.
Yeah, don't like that. And then Huey Lewis is. I mean,
that's a bad choice too. I mean,
I kind of like Huey now, but
no. I'm saying that's a bad choice to hate Huey Lewis.
Weird to hate Huey.
Yeah,
Lewis,
I think it's pretty good.
He's not
like if you listen to it by yourself and don't let anybody else.
Yeah,
know.
Don't play it out loud.
Yeah, don't cut it on for a party.
Yeah, don't fucking try to be ironic.
If you're in a towel and you're getting ready in the morning, absolutely.
Telling people to just be private with their likes.
Yeah.
Take the call. I'm gonna grab that chair because I'm in a bad one.
Oh yeah, Brian keeps falling. The chair keeps adjusting.
It fucking does it every time.
Yeah, it's just broke it, dude. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight? Is it me? It's a skeleton?
It's not a skeleton.
I didn't know you were even on the phone, man.
No, it's not a skeleton, Brett. It's Trevor.
Hey. Trevor. What's up, Trevor?
Oh, thanks, Brett. I appreciate it. I just want to say that I've been listening to Metallica for the past 4 days.
Woo.
That's it.
That's BP
Because
for
of
you.
This stupid show, man. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I've been listening to and Justice for All, fucking all the Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master
Load?
Puppets,
You giving
all
Load a
those
listen?
albums.
Load and Reloaded?
Not yet.
Those are the jams.
No,
Those
I
are the
haven't
ones.
yet. I've done Black Album too, but all because of how much you guys have been talking about it.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Brett got a bunch of people, because I've had a lot of people say this too, that Brett got him listening to Metallica, and then I now have a bunch of people saying curses to Brian. He's making me listen to Kid Rock, like it's my fault.
Yeah. Like we made catchy music.
No, Kid Rock sucks, but Metallica is awesome. Like,
So-
how good they are, like those chugs and the way they shred. Every metal band that is around now owes everything to Metallica. I mean,
I say
Dude,
Pantera.
you gotta
though.
hear-
it just makes you appreciate how metal so much more when you listen to that when it was out in like '86, before I was born.
Yeah, they're incredible. The old stuff is absolutely incredible. I really love the instrumental stuff, like Orion. I listen to like crazy. Like I'll just be headbanging in the
I
kitchen.
listened to that in my car today, Brett. Yes, absolutely, man.
But I gotta say, check out the Hardwired to Self-Destruct, which came out like in 2016. But there's a song called Hardwired.
Really?
That is fucking good. Just the song
Because,
Hardwired. It definitely is very similar to the older stuff, in that it's just like hard charging and yelling. It's great.
Yes. Yeah, no, but like I think like thrash metal, like speed metal, like that is all owed to Metallica, and like I want my metal to be fast and hard like that.
Oh,
Yeah, this will make you laugh.
That is
Slow metal
exactly
for me.
how it all started.
This will make Brian laugh. I had my first Megadeth fan finally slip in, where they were like, "You need to stop listening to that pop thrash."
Yes.
They said, "Stop listening to the pop thrash stuff. Listen to Risk by Megadeth."
No, don't get into Megadeth for me. Just please. Let's not.
I can't do that.
I got into Ozzy, which is totally perfectly fine, but
That's
Megadeth is unacceptable. Nobody likes Megadeth, dude. Nobody. Well, actually, everybody likes it, because we're gonna be on the guest list at the Megadeth show. So
Yeah,
actually,
we love
gonna be a lot nicer.
They
I'm gonna
now.
be
like
into it.
Megadeth, but they don't really like Megadeth.
Well, I'm gonna like Megadeth if I can hopefully try to get in and see Dave Mustaine live. I've actually seen him live once, and I really enjoy the song "Train of Consequences." It's the train of consequences. There ain't no coming back. That sounded good. That was
Yeah,
good.
it's totally.
Yeah, Metallica. I like that everybody's like. I think 2020 is the year of Metallica. I've been
Yeah, they're
saying
back.
this, and they're back in a big way. They haven't released an album or anything,
Dude, but
and
also,
they're not really doing it.
Dude, I think
Listen-
like a Ride the Lightning T-shirt, like black with that white blue, like with just that logo on it. I think that's a hot T-shirt. I think we're gonna go back to like black metal T-shirts are gonna be in fashion
Yeah,
again. Like
they've already-
A24, they're bringing that stuff back. Plus, now you guys are hype beasts all of a sudden. I see you wear Antisocial Club. I see you wearing Fear of God. I see you guys. What's up with that?
I like it. I like the stuff.
We're trying to get into like we want 23-year-olds to think that we're cool, so that we can convince them to tear down the government.
I truly do. I do.
Hell
I do.
yeah.
I'm wearing
Hell yeah.
Antisocial Social
Okay,
Club
I see.
now.
So
Right now, he's got that.
I'm wearing an
That's
Ass
so
Club
funny.
shirt on, T-shirt, Ass Club T-shirt. I want their T-shirt that says Ass Club, and then I'm done with Antisocial Social Club. It just says Ass Club across the front, and I'm like, I want to be in the Ass Club.
Okay. So the other thing is, you got to listen to that acoustic album with Metallica too, because they do Disposable Heroes and.
Yeah, hell yeah. Let's go back to Metallica, Brett. Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to say, Disposable Heroes acoustic is fucking great.
Disposable Heroes. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll remember that.
So that's the end of my Metallica recommendation. Sorry. I've been listening for a lot longer than 4 days.
Worries, bro.
I'm in a spiral.
Yes. No, I I'm down to get even more in depth with. So I appreciate the advice. But
Yeah.
I just wanted to go on here to say it's the only reason I've been listening to fucking Metallica is because you guys won't shut up about it. So
Well,
and I fucking love you guys, and you are the absolute best. And I hope to see you guys when you come back to Iowa, to the Hawkeye State. So
yeah, we loved
you guys
Iowa.
have a great night. I appreciate you having me on.
Have a good one. Peace. Iowa definitely has a lot of Iowa vibes. Vice versa. Definitely Midwestern. Lots of corn-fed people. And it's also a place where, like, you know, there's lots of cool people there, but people think it sucks. And that's kind of nice. You kind of like it that way. You just want people to stay the fuck out of your state and out of your business so you can just do what you want. Let's see who is on the line next here. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hi there, this is Jen.
Hey, Jen, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. I'm
Glad
from
to hear.
Denver.
What was that?
Hello? I'm from Denver.
From Denver, okay. Love Denver. Nice place.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a film student currently, just starting out, so I don't know. I just been like, you know, first time, long time kind of shit, you know.
That's great.
Sorry, I'm awkward as fuck.
No, not at all. You're speaking clearly, and I understand what's going on here. So did you move to Denver, or are you originally from there?
Oh no, born and raised.
Born and raised Denver. Wow. Not much of those these days,
Yeah.
right? You have all these people coming in trying to get in on your.
Oh God, yeah, so many yuppie assholes living in identical gentrified buildings. I don't know what it is with the architectural style or lack thereof of them, but they look like fake amusement park versions of apartment buildings. You know what I mean?
I know it's just fucking infuriating because you can go and look at architectural building like from the past that are still around, and they have a statement, and it's not bad.
In Denver, there is so much incredible shit. Like the old Union Station is fucking. It's a marvel, man. It's beautiful.
And there's no reason to like it. It doesn't. It's not bad that it's old or that it's from a time using a modern artist or modern architect of the time to create a place. But you're right. Now it's not. There is no architecture behind it. It's the cheapest grade stuff that they can get. That kind of looks like the beginning of some 90s TV show about the city. You know, it's like they're just trying to get something that looks like that. But it
looks like that 90s ideal of a city.
You say beyond that because it's offering like the mallish version of it. It's just so cleansed of any sort of culture or anything. In like in Columbus we have mixed use places.
It's like the feeling you get while walking around in that mausoleum of tunnels that used to be a mall under Crystal City, Virginia, when you go through the metro from DC.
Yeah,
if you know what I'm talking about.
I have not been to that. That sounds very familiar actually, but I don't know if I recall. It's they're putting them everywhere, and it's so sterilized, and I don't know how it's gonna work. I really don't know if people are gonna sign up to spend, $2,000 a month on a condo downtown Columbus that's above like a White Castle or a Taco Bell.
At least gives me some reassurance is that so many of these buildings I know are gonna age like fucking milk.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They're gonna be have to be torn down so quickly after they've been built.
Well, that's what that's the reason to oppose them from the get, is that they aren't sustainable. They aren't going to be around for long.
Oh yeah, they're just cash grabs. That's it.
You don't think they're gonna last very long?
I don't know. I mean,
like their construction is shoddy as fuck. They're like, I don't know, like all of their pastel colors are gonna fade insanely fucking quickly. That kind of shit.
Yeah, I think so as well.
True. That's pretty fucking cool though. Like when it's gonna look really depressing.
Yeah.
And you know what? Hey,
it's like when you go buy one of those plastic sheds that looks all nice and new at Lowe's.
It's gonna be like those old shitty British, prefab apartments, but like an abandoned amusement park instead.
Yeah. Not bad.
Oh, I love that. I love abandoned amusement parks, by the way. So
Oh,
it's like
God,
Gotham
yeah.
City shit.
It's
I would love to
such
go
a
to
vibe.
one. I would love to
Oh,
go to
yeah.
one and drive around, or walk around, but I'd probably just feel like the cops were gonna
If
come the
you've
whole
been
time.
to Denver, there's a super old amusement park called Lakeside that's just so fucking awesome. It's been around since like 1902 or some shit. It's like 1912, I think. But it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, that urban exploration stuff is very cool.
The thing I was gonna talk about was a specific thing that's really interesting to me that I just finished making a movie about, which is this huge French general strike in 1968, which is just known as May 68 because it was, May of 1968, and it was basically over the course of a month. But over that month, 10 million people went on strike. Estimated. It's kind of hard to estimate when it's that big, but and de Gaulle, who was president at the time, he was old as fuck. He fled to this French military base in Germany called Baden-Baden, and was like planning to have the military go in and occupy Paris and shit. But then he reconsidered and had this like glorious return and turned it into like this PR victory out of nowhere, basically.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy story, but yeah.
What's the movie? You said there's a movie about it?
Yeah, I just finished making it. It's called Phantoms of the Communards.
Okay.
A percussive history of May 68. It's on YouTube. You can check it out.
Sweet. I will check that out. I love seeing like the old communist stuff that like
God, yeah, there's so much of that shit. Like there's I don't know, the French, they go fucking hard with that shit.
They really do. I was talking about this like a couple weeks ago about like how, that after 9/11, it was all like the French are a bunch of fucking cowards and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, those motherfuckers. Every day I turn on, I look at like the news and stuff, and they're out fighting in the streets for their shit, and it's like, yeah, I don't think they're cowards. You know what I mean? I think they're tougher than us. I mean,
drivers go on strike every other fucking month.
I know.
And they'll beat a motherfucker. Like,
I saw the police fighting the fire department there.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! Wait, speaking of, also there's been a pretty big general strike that's been going on since like December in France over Macron's been trying to do this insane neoliberal reformation of the pension system, which turns it into a gamified points-based system where everybody is on a quote-unquote level playing field, where it basically gets rid of a bunch of union-negotiated special pension benefits, where like if you're a railroad worker and you work a particularly strenuous job, you can retire earlier, or if you're a ballet dancer, you can retire earlier. So ballet dancers went on strike too. They fucking danced Swan Lake in front of the fucking opera house with like a bunch of strike signs on it. It was fucking lit.
That is nuts. I want to go there. I'm gonna go there and get my ass whipped by somebody in the street. I think that's a new goal.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well,
it's
thanks.
Interesting. It's interesting as far as like bud there is like awful and super expensive, but hash is fucking everywhere and it's lit.
Yeah, that is true. Like, that's why I always don't want to leave the country.
Yeah, I would.
It's
I'm
like,
gonna
what's the
shrivel
weed
up and
situation?
die. Yeah,
and like that's what Japan always is like. Oh man.
We are doing knife
Oh
hits.
god, that finding a plug in Japan is a particular type of nightmare, I think.
Yeah, it's very illegal there. I know that.
I would just like sneak acid on the plane.
Yeah. I
Just
mean,
would do, like,
I wouldn't
micro-hit
because
acid.
I know a few
that's
wrestlers
not
have
that
gone to
hard.
actual jail for even just bringing little bits of weed with them. Matt Seidel spent a couple months in jail for weed edibles. It's like I wouldn't even mess with it.
Oh, come on.
But that's Japan, man. That's their thing. Maybe they'll lighten up on it when we lighten up on it. That's what I keep thinking. I was like, well, we'll lighten up on it, and maybe other people will. So, well, thanks for calling in. We're gonna hit our break now. It's
time to break.
Thanks for calling.
All right, no problem. Thanks.
Have a good night.
Peace in the Middle East.
Around 10,000 people. showed up for Pete's town hall in Virginia today.
Wow, that's invigorating.
Yeah. Virginia is where like all the things are, though. You know what I mean?
Racist?
No, not racist.
Like Confederate monuments and Confederate highways.
No, just like all the consultant places.
Oh, Virginia
and,
is where
all
like
that
Blackwater.
stuff, and
That's where
Blackwater and.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Street Fight is here. Hope you enjoyed the music. Sorry about the cutoff there. That was Wasp Factory. You can find them on Spotify and other streaming channels. Wasp Factory out of Columbus, Ohio. Thank you, Jordan. He came out on Wednesday night to the AEW Dynamite watch party with us and told us to check out the band, asked if we'd play them on the show. I listened to it and immediately was like, yes, our people will love this, so check them out. They're Wasp Factory. Also, Street Fight music related, if you we got a ton of messages from people that asked about the closing song on the OnlyFans for the Military episode, the one that Icy Jake, our audio engineer, did. Well, we did pre-orders for his cassettes, and they are finally here. So if you want to support Jake and his album Terrorist Threats, we are selling tapes in the Street Fight store, store.streetfightradio.com. You will also get access to all the audio files and bonus material, 5 bonus songs that aren't available anywhere else except for through Street Fight. So head to store.streetfightradio.com to take advantage of that. Plus, you can get tickets for our show next Friday. Is it this Friday or next Friday?
Friday.
It's this Friday.
Yeah, we got to do a show
Holy
Friday.
shit. This Friday is Street Fight Radio live in Columbus, Ohio at Ruby Tuesday. Just Brian and I. No guests, no music, anything like that. It's just going to be a regular old Street Fight show and a party. We need y'all to come out and hang, laugh. We need to know, if this shit's any good. We need to do a little bit of we want to rewrite the Constitution in all the cities that we visit this year. So Columbus, this is your chance to help us make a new world. We want to crowdsource the rules, and we'll figure out by the end of this year what would be best for the rest of us, not just the people that decide how we can live.
Sounds like a plan.
Yes.
Yeah, I have ideas. I have a lot of ideas, so
Got a couple.
I think we're going to be all set on the new Constitution.
All right. You want to get into these calls?
Yeah, let's get another call in.
Well, thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Yo, what's up? It's Robert. I am in Seattle.
What's up, Robert? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Let's see here. I just joined you guys on Patreon, so I feel really good about that. You keep me entertained. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, but now I live in Seattle. So
Nice. Well, what's going on tonight? Thanks for going on Patreon. Listen to the bonus stuff. It's fun.
Yeah, we just did the Marco's Pizza for Undercover Boss, and that was really good.
Yeah, I think we're gonna start some kind of monster this week.
I think we
yeah,
should.
I love that Undercover Boss.
Yeah, they're fun. They're fun for us to do, so I'm glad people enjoy them. So, what's going on?
Oh, nothing. So I was just thinking about, out here we have, so people keep saying it's like a utopian city or something when you live in Seattle. It's a bunch of, liberal white people, and I'm a gay black guy who lives out here, so I have a whole different perspective. And it is, I swear, dude, Seattle is just as, corrupt and disgusting as it was in Louisville as it is in any other city. It's just as bad out here. People are just as stupid.
Absolutely. And what are you met? Are you met with? Are you voicing these critiques to anybody? Or are you being met with pushback?
Well, kind of, sort of. So I actually ran for city council in 2019 for District 6. It didn't go too well, but I met a whole bunch of really, really good people who I feel like most normal people are on, they kind of get it. They see that, our politicians, Kashama, she's the main one. She's seen as the socialist in the city. And
she's
they
good.
Think of her, they see her as being they see her as a socialist, but everything they do kind of goes against it. It's real psychological out here. They're real smart. You got to be really savvy to live in this city. And they kind of play this trick on you where they're like, yeah, see, we're helping all you poor folks out. We're taking care, we're making sure everybody gets a piece of the pie, when really making sure that they get their money from the developers. So
right, they get paid first. and then do lip service.
Right.
Or just say like, yeah, I'm on your side. And it's like, but no, I mean, I'm saying the stuff that you're doing, it doesn't seem like you're on my side. Like, no, but I actually am. I do believe that stuff. You know, I'm very progressive.
Yeah. I
Right.
mean,
it's like they passed this they just passed this stupid legislation that's well, it's not stupid, but it's no winter evictions, like no evictions during winter, right? So on the surface, that looks really good, right? Like no one can be evicted now during, I think it's like 3 or 4 months during the cold season. Landlords cannot evict people. So what that's done is now it's made it to where like people like me who don't make $120,000 a year, you have to have, you know, these landlords have upped it up even more. So now you got to have a 700 credit score. You got to have, you know, like all these references. They got to know where you work, how, you know, it's much more difficult to rent something here now. And that's what they keep doing is putting all these restrictions in place.
Right. They've moved all of the risk. They've made it all the landlords now in a position where they feel that they don't have the opportunity to make money for these 3 months out of the year if they have to evict somebody, and that's resulted in nobody getting any extra help. I mean, besides, unless you're going to get evicted.
Well, they're going to be like, okay, so landlords will say, okay, that's cool. Then here's what we're going to do. So it used to be, you know, well, we didn't mind if you made $50,000 a year or whatever, but now we got to really make sure that you're qualified before we let you rent from us. So, and then if they say, well, screw it, I don't want to rent anymore anyway, I'll just sell this place. And that's exactly what developers are looking for because they need a place to build a bunch of micro apartments.
Right.
man, renting should be the easiest thing in the world, in my opinion. Like, because buying is a commitment, right? It's like, I got to deal with this motherfucker for the rest of my life. But renting is really only a year, and you should be able to just get in. You know? What's the worst that happens? You stop paying your rent, they kick you out.
Well, they can't do that now. They're all scared that they're not going to be able to kick you out in time.
They can kick you out after. And how many people do you think are going to be like, I'm just not going to pay my rent for these 3 months?
Right.
You know? And what'll end up happening if they do that is that it'll just all be stacked back on when the 3 months is up. Like, nobody's taking advantage of it, you know? And it just seems weird to me. Like, there are ways to, like, guarantee housing for people that makes sense. And it's like, yeah, we shouldn't be giving concessions to landlords, you know what I mean? But like in the current way that the world works, like they still are the people that we have to rent from, you know, like we still have to go to them and they have to still be willing to give us the stuff. I mean, we don't really have any negotiating power.
Right.
In that way, because we just have to have the place. Like, a real reform is negotiating power. A real reform gives you leverage when you're dealing with a landlord, you know? It's, I guess, probably like a real good reform. And I don't think it's bad to not kick people out during the winter. But I think, like, a reform, like, you know, cutting the screening process, fees, and all of that stuff is more helpful, I guess. And then also nationalizing housing is really helpful too. But do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But see, like, that's how they see it out here. So they see it as, okay, we just need to, there's all these people, you know, there's all these homeless people. They just need a place to live, you know, and, you know, the landlord's just making it tough for them. So we're going to just make these restrictions on put all these restrictions out on these landlords. And then, you know, it'll be fine. Like, everyone will be able to get a place. And, like, I don't know if it's something where it's like if they're doing this, they're creating all this legislation just to make it more difficult, you know, if there's a hidden agenda behind it, or if they really just don't understand that, you know, there's so many better ways. I mean, we have all these brand new sparkling buildings. I mean, all this brand new housing in the city that no one lives in. I mean, it's just like completely empty.
Yeah, that's the type of thing where I'm just like, take it away from the fucking landlords. Just fucking take it away from them. You know what? If you build a big building and you can't fill that fucking thing up, we're going to take it over and we're going to fill the fucking thing up. Yeah. You know, that's the way I think about that stuff. It's like, there is no penalty, really, for building a building that nobody ends up moving into.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, yes, you lose money, but these developers, there's probably ways to get that money back. I don't know. But I know that like corporate welfare is like a real fucking thing, and these developers probably get the money back anyway, even if they don't fucking fill the
At
place.
a certain point, losing money makes you money.
Yeah. So to me, it's like there needs to be a penalty if you build a place that doesn't have people living in it. Because I just walk by these buildings downtown every day, and I don't know who the fuck is living in them, dude. I never see people walking in and out of those buildings that I walk by. The big White Castle building. I've never seen a person walk out of the big new White Castle, half condos building. I just don't see it. And I don't see people walking out of like just any of them. I don't imagine people live in them. And it's like so now they're just sitting there doing nothing. They knocked down probably a beautiful old building to put it in there, and now there's this big empty building and a bunch of homeless people walking around downtown, and it just seems it's stupid. Like we have such a stupid system. That's Bernie Sanders needs to penalize them for that too. You know what I hate about Seattle? Can I tell you? And like this is just a thing.
Please.
Everything closes early there. It's fucking wild.
Yes, because everything runs on tech time. Look, I don't work in the tech industry. I'm a bartender at the Museum of Pop Culture downtown, right? So I get a ton of tourists, and they always say the same thing. Everything closes in the city at 10 o'clock, I said, because it runs on tech time. Because the way the Seattle operates is that they want everything to operate on. You have to either you work for tech directly or indirectly. So that means that everything shuts down by 10 o'clock. Grocery stores, everything are done by 11 because they kind of want to make it to where it's made just for these tech people.
Well,
it's how the city is set up.
They want people to be waking up at 5 in the morning to do start working out and start
that's why like we have
life hacking.
Everything starts at 6:30 in the morning. From like 6:30 to 9:30, it's just insane traffic because if you don't work in tech, then that means you have to live outside the county or outside the city limits. So you've got all these people coming into the city. So between like 6:30 and 9:30, and then I would say like 3:30 and 5:30, there's all this traffic, and then there's nothing in the city.
When we get
at 10 o'clock, everything shuts down.
So when me and Brett have to fly to Seattle, I don't think he does this for me, but we usually fly out later in the afternoon because I like to sleep late or whatever. So we don't get up early, and we usually get to Seattle right around 11, I think, most of the time. And we want to go get some food, and I usually want to go buy a box fan when I get there. Nothing open. Just nothing. And you're like, well, then fine. We'll just go to a Walmart. Walmart's closed.
Yeah.
Target's closed. It's like Walmart is open 24 hours here, and Target's open till midnight. All of them are open till midnight here. It's so weird to go to some of these big cities that close down so early like that. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, they don't want anything. If you like, everything has to be. It's almost kind of like the way that. So we do a lot of huge, big events for like Microsoft, and I bartend these events for like Microsoft and Amazon and Tableau, these huge companies in the city. And I've noticed over like the course of 2 years of living out here with these people that these companies, they tailor these events where these people are like pampered. The people that work there, it's almost kind of like they mother them in a way to where it's like, okay, you guys, we're going to keep the lighting a certain way. The music, we're trying to create this certain vibe to where you feel like you're cool and you're edgy and we're doing fun stuff for you. But at the same time, it's like, but we're your boss. So, this is a fun workplace. You'll never get this anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like they do everything for these tech people. These 21-year-olds are moving out here from like Vancouver and from like all over the world making $120,000 a year, and they're kept in this bubble to where it's like, this is what you do, we take care of you, and if you ever think about quitting, what are you going to do? You can't do anything. You ain't not do your own laundry. We do that for you. That's how the city likes to operate.
I think one of those people, I think it was Bill Gates that got caught confirming that they didn't hire people from like the other companies. That was a long time ago, but there is a shutout. Like they can make it so you don't work in that town again if they don't want. And it is one of those things. It's not like you know what, man, I fucking hate work, but we got to do it, so we might as well make our job cool. No, they're literally like, we're going to make this a very comfy, cozy place for them, and then hold it over them. You know, you're like, we put a pool table out here. We gave you Nerf guns. Are you fucking kidding me? How can you complain about this job?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, they bought a whole area of the city. Like, we had South Lake Union was nothing but like 5 years ago, it was nothing but like parking garages and lots and vacant buildings. In 5 years, if you look up South Lake Union now, I mean, it's just all this brand new residential housing for tech people can go stay. I mean, I have been, I've spent time homeless, living in my car while I was working 2 jobs in this city. And, you pass by all these huge buildings that are brand new that Amazon own, and they don't say they own them, but they own this whole area of the city. And they just only want it for tech people. They have these really cool bars where you like throw axes and stuff in them. They make all this up just for them. And that's how they want to be. It's very inclusive where it's just tech people.
Yeah, there's actually.
But what about the people who's going to bartend? They can't bartend, but they want drinks.
Yeah,
so they
absolutely.
need somebody like me to do that.
Well, they do that a lot. That happens a lot here too, though. They're just like, the city is very expensive to live in, but they also need people to like sweep the floors or bartend or serve and stuff like that. And it really does like bum me out that like they can't afford to live close to work. They have to like live out in the suburbs and commute here to like work at Subway, because where do you live if you work at Subway on High Street here?
Yeah.
You got to live in the suburbs. That's the only thing you can do. They have made the cities places that you can't, that like you're allowed to come and work in, but unless you make a certain amount of money, you don't get to live there.
I mean, it's kind of like, imagine, because I love Cincinnati. I love Ohio in general, but imagine like if Cincinnati with Seattle. You'd have to live over across the river. Like in northern Kentucky.
Yeah.
You have to live over there. And then there'd be one bus that everyone who bartends, serves, whatever, they have to catch that one bus in the middle of downtown Cincinnati to go back and forth. That's how Seattle is, where there's just a few buses that go in and out of the city 24/7.
DC was similar too, where like we were on the last stop on the Orange Line, and the apartment building we lived in, it was all kinds of fast food and service workers that were in our building. Like it was just the exact last stop, that you could still work in DC and have access to like the train system.
Yeah, and that's like that. It's not as bad in Columbus because it's cheaper to live here, but it's the thing where like all the staffs at all the places, unless you're like very high up or you're owning it or you will not live down here because I mean, the cost of living is very different here, but you can't really get anything for less than $2,000 a month downtown. Like in the downtown, in that area where you would be able to like walk to work and do all your stuff. And like my wife couldn't really afford to live downtown with what she makes. And it's just like, they ruined downtown.
There's a really good, in Columbus, there's a guy, his name is Scott Woods, and he writes for Columbus Alive. And he did some pretty good articles called The Two Columbuses about how there are people that are, the ones that are doing all of the work for us that are completely left out of the conversation and go to neighborhoods that are neglected, or are just places that they plan to put future developments. They're just let these places run down until they can rebuild them and make it another playground for, people with the right amount of income level. And we're losing. I mean, the Bernie Sanders thing is a lot of work. I've seen a lot of photos of folks that I know are like taking time off of a very strenuous work schedule to go do some of this caucusing, like working people that are spending 60, 70 hours a week trying to make money to live in some of these places.
Did you hear the guy yesterday, the Latino guy in MSNBC like interviewed him, and they were being kind of condescending to him. And then they were kind of like, why are you here caucusing for Bernie Sanders? And he was like, I make good money. Because he worked in a casino. He worked in the VIP section of a casino, which you can make very good money doing something like. He's like, I make very good money. But he was like, even I don't see the possibility of sending my children to college. And he was like, I look at the other people who work here who don't make the kind of money I do, and I don't see any world where they get to go to college except, and this guy's saying that he can make that happen. And it's like, it is like, I mean, I think there's so much to be done beyond even raising the minimum wage, but like raising the minimum wage, universal health care, and universal college, it is like, those are monstrous fucking changes for the working class. And it definitely gives like a bartender the chance to look, you in the bartending business, you can make a lot of money. Like, it is possible.
Yeah.
But you also have to like give your life over to a business that doesn't have health insurance. And I know for a fact that like my wife has always wanted to be a bartender and has been stuck at this place doing shit that she hates because they give us health insurance. They pay for our health insurance for our family. And that's why even I look at her and I'm like, you know, if the health insurance was fucking taken care of, she could do half of her time at Street Fight. And if she really does want to be a bartender, she can go and be a fucking bartender.
True.
You know, people could dedicate their lives to the things that they love. And people think like, oh, that means that everybody's going to go out and like try to be in a rock and roll band or something. And it's like, no, there are so many people, dude. I was so happy doing regular work. Like, I don't think people like get like, I don't think I say this enough, but like, I wanted to be like just a regular 9 to 5, punch a clock, do the thing, go home. But the pressure was so crazy doing that I cracked, and I personally could not handle it. And this works better for me. But let's say that there was like free college and free healthcare. Do I really end up like doing a podcast at that point? Or do I just go and do something that I'm interested in or that I feel like doing? Do I maybe go try to cook? I'm a person who loves cooking. I never cooked because there's no insurance and it doesn't make enough money, you know? So like, I just wonder, like, I think that like, like, I do think that there are people that love what they do. And that maybe people don't believe that somebody could love to be a bartender. But the fact is, there are a lot of people who are very passionate about service work. I was one of them. I only ever did service
Like,
work.
I love it. Dude, I've been serving and bartending for over 10 years. And like, you know, I got really lucky out here because I bartend for a place where I'm in a union, which really came in handy for me last week.
Oh, yeah.
I get to be like a union bartender, so I get to be up to 15 minutes late every day before my job can actually write me up, and they have to give me raises and things like that. But I keep my hours below 30 because I know that if I go over 30, their health insurance is so expensive. It's I probably won't be able to really afford to live in the city anymore. And so what I have to do is I have to keep it low enough to where I can keep, like state, or I can keep Medicaid. And then I have to bartend on the side on my own and pick up my own gigs on the side to make up the difference. And like, it shouldn't have to, and I love doing this so much. I found other things I want to do within it, but it sucks that you can't do it where it's all on paper, where it shows to a landlord. Landlords look at that and they're like, oh, you don't make enough money to live here, not in this city. You don't work for Tableau. You're not making $120,000 a year. We're not, we know we're have to kick you out of here. It's like, I have no evictions on my record, bro. Like, chill out.
Yeah. That
Just
is
breathe. Like, I got you.
You just made like a really great point that I never thought about this, but like what happens when I have to go rent a new place? Where like I moved into this place, I was a cable guy. Of course they fucking gave me the place. By the way, there was there was a situation where I almost didn't get this place because I was injured at the time and I was collecting workman's comp at that time, and they were like a little bit nervous about giving it to me, but I had to like kind of go to work and have my boss explain that like I'm getting my job. I will go back to my job, but like, I mean, going to a fucking landlord and them saying, what is your job? And you say podcaster. I've said it to people in public and stuff, and they just look at me like, okay, Okay, go
Right.
home. You know, like,
yeah, I mean that's incredibly tragic too, though. Like avoiding more than 30 hours when it's right there for the taking. You could just work if you weren't going to get dinged for the health insurance. You could get the extra hours and have one fucking job.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah,
I felt
and it's
the
a
same way
job you
too.
like.
I felt the same way too. Like when I worked even fast food and stuff, there was times when it got extremely busy, but I would be very focused in like a flow state and would be able to handle the orders and get them down. And like, if it is a good feeling, like, you know, if you are working at a Starbucks in the morning and 100 people are going to bum rush this place and you're able to keep it all together and make sure it's smooth and no one has a meltdown, that's something to be proud of. And that's definitely something that's worthy of an apartment right next to all the Tableau people and right next to all the fucking Google and Microsoft people, because they're not doing their shit without Starbucks or without a fucking beer at the end of the night.
You're absolutely right. I mean, like, I do remember rushes. I'll say this. When I worked for the cable company, when I walked into somebody's house and their picture was clear, such a sense of like, you would come in and they'd be like snowy pictures or it's tiling and shit, and I would come in, I would do my thing, I would go back in, turn on the TV and be like, how does that look? And it is clear. And I would just feel like, I know that I shouldn't like care. Like, I know that the Brian on Street Fight would say he doesn't care, but like the truth is, like, I do feel good like after I do some work. Yeah. And even with this show, like, you know,
we solve some problem. Yeah.
We knock out a show and we go home, and I feel good about getting my shit done. And there are a lot of people that are that
we
just,
all are
like,
that way.
Yeah, we all feel good when we get through a thing. And like, bartending seems like if I had to go with a service job, I would bartend, but I don't drink.
Yeah, that's good though.
But I think that's bad.
I don't drink either. I probably have maybe two like drinks a year, and that's only when it's like if I'm talking with clients and it's something really big on the side and they invite me out and I have to have a drink. Like, I had a brunch a couple weeks ago and I was sitting out with my mentor, and she had like 3 mimosas, and I had no choice but to have like a half of a Bloody Mary. But I am like the best bartender. I kill it because I just love what I do.
How do you know?
And you should be able.
How did you learn to mix drinks? Can I, like, because that's the thing is, like, I don't know how much alcohol goes in a drink at all. I have no idea.
So, like, when I started bartending, it was at a Red Lobster when I was like 21, and the bartender was like an older chick or whatever, right? And I used to always hang out as a server, and when someone quit, they let me come in and bartend, and she said the main thing is like, you want to make sure that people their drinks, like they taste the liquor in there, like they, know how much to pour 4 count, 3 count pour, but don't over pour for tips. Always make good drinks because people will keep getting drinks from you. They're not here to get drunk. They're here because they want attention. They're here because they want to be noticed. They want entertainment. They want to feel good. And because I always did that as a server, as a bartender, I was like, oh, this is going to be easy. So I just learned, like, how everything would taste. I knew exactly how all my base liquors taste, like, my bourbons, my whiskeys, everything. I know what those taste like. And then you have to imagine, I know what pineapple tastes like. Pineapple's going to go really good if I mix it with this, add in a little bit of grenadine. And you have to just know the flavors, almost like being a chef, where, chefs, they don't really exactly, when they get done with something and it's amazing, they can go back over it. But in the moment, they're kind of just like working it, and you got to just kind of like work it. It's like you just have to know when you're bartending. It's
That's
more
incredible.
of a kind of go with the flow, because people will ask me for drinks and I have no freaking clue. Like, you know how many drinks there are? Like, and don't be looking at me crazy because I don't know what a pink flamingo is or some bullshit. So it's like, I'll tell them, okay, what's the liquor in it? And they'll tell me, oh, it's this and this, and I just kind of create it from there.
Okay. Yeah, that's good
that's
intuition.
incredible.
Yeah, it's good intuition.
I mean, that is like,
You're
that's
right.
like a real skill. If you're not tasting this stuff, I just think that that is the hardest thing in the world.
I respect what you said too. Every time that somebody makes a strong drink for us, we'd never have one after that. I would just leave and go somewhere else. If you're going to pour like a whole bottle of rum into this thing and then splash pineapple on it, I'm not going to be able to stick around at this place. I'm going to be fucking shitting my pants.
Yeah, like people want to see you like muddling stuff. They want to see you like muddle some limes and, you know, like add in a couple of different flavors. They want it to be an experience. They want their drink to be an experience to go along with the experience that they're already having.
Yeah.
So
Do you think
that's how I think of it. I mean, that's what makes you a good, you know, bartender.
Do you think they want to show? Do you think that like a lot of it is like there's parts of it where you're just like, I'll just do this way
Well,
because they like to see people do it that way?
Oh man, we can get deep in this. Go ahead.
I'm just curious about it.
Oh, okay. Well, it depends. Now, if you've got a bunch of people at the bar, right, and then there's always going to be someone who wants to be, there's always like somebody who wants to be like the loudmouth or somebody who wants to be noticed, right?
Yeah.
They're going to order a drink where they want to show for everybody else.
Okay.
So that's when you got to perform. Like, that's when you got to put on the show. Other than that, I would say 70% of my job is me just making really good drinks without a bunch of, like, hoopla about it. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of it just, people want something where they can just sip on, they can enjoy it, and then go to the airport or go in the museum.
Yeah, we had that conversation today because my daughter loves to get presents. It was her birthday, and she will, like, if you get her a present, she will put on a whole thing. She'll do like a dance. She'll act like she's fainting. She'll like fan her face and stuff and fall over if she really likes it. But like, I was talking to my friend's kid and they were like, no, we don't do presents opening because like my daughter does not want to be seen by anybody. And I feel like that's the same as like a lot of customers are like, bartender, please just make the drink and don't notice me at all. Don't just get it to me, make it good. I just want good drinks. So I was going to say, here's one quick question. You do have some power in this circumstance because I have this inclination where I want the bartender to think I'm cool. Like I want to be the bartender's side. Like I would like to give them extra money or like a wink or like to just call the showboater guy an asshole or something. So do you feel like you're in control of the power to like make somebody like feel cool for the night because you were like, oh, that's a funny joke, or you know, so whatever the horse shit is.
I am absolutely that guy. Okay, for one, because I have that Southern charm because I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, so I can absolutely like turn it on. And if I see that someone like wants to be noticed or they want to have fun, then we're gonna have fun because I can be sassy. A lot of people love it, especially out in the Northwest. They love it when they see like especially a black gay guy get that little bit of sass in them where it's like, who do you think you're talking to? Or you got the wrong one, boo, not today. Like they love that shit. They will eat it up. Like, you know, they want a little bit of like a little S&M, a little bit of you know, like call me a piece of shit kind of thing. You know, and I'm like, I got you, boo. Like we can do this. And those tips be rolling in.
That is so fucking cool. Ah, man, I wish people were interested in me like that. Like where it's just like I could just be like, yeah, fuck you, give me some money, you know?
Yeah.
Like, hey, you're a dumb idiot. You know, and people are just like, oh, I love this. You know?
So do you think that
Yeah, because I mean, it doesn't matter what you look like. It don't matter what you look like at my bar. If we're having a good rapport, if I can feel it, if I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fun, we're gonna have fun. Like that's how I think most, you know, really good bartenders are. Like they don't care what you look like or, you know, who you came with. If they feel they were on the same level, like we're both like, what is it the millennials say? We're vibing, you know, it's all about the vibes or whatever, then we're on. Like I got you. We're gonna do this.
Yeah, that is I mean that's how you are, that you're kind of like the host of the party in that way. Everybody has to come to you to get their dancing juice, and you're like the one person there, so you get to control a little bit and be in charge of, you know, the night and how it goes. That's cool.
That's so cool. You should call us.
Older white guys, they love it.
You should call us more. I really like you. That was a really fun call.
Oh, thank you. Y'all make my day, I swear. I listen to you guys all the time. Y'all make me so happy, and I really appreciate what you do.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate what you do. We're at to come to the Museum of Pop Culture next time we're out west.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah, we will come. We will be there.
You.
All right. Thanks for calling.
Peace.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good night.
That is so fucking funny to hear. Like,
Like
people at a bar, they want to hear dirty jokes, right? They want surliness. People, they're like out there to cut loose. They've been at work all week, right? They've been hunched over a computer all week. They want somebody to say fuck at them in a way that's like wouldn't fly in the boardroom.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. I mean, I always find, and I don't get to talk to them very much, but I do always find that bartenders are like the coolest people in the world. Like that is like a cool person's job. Like,
I feel, I mean, you have to be able to switch up immediately to cater to every type of person. You have to pick up their vibe. They're going to act a certain way towards you. They're going to give you a little bit of rope. This is me joking around, saying some weird comment, and then you just have to fucking run with it. You're stuck with them, and they're going to keep drinking. They're going to keep getting louder and more obnoxious as the night goes on, and you have to keep reining them in.
But it always feels like they are like really in control of the, like it does feel like when you see the people that are sitting at the bar, there's like a whole thing going on at the bar, and the bartender is like kind of the center of it. And I just never see them look like nervous. I never see them like freaking out or anything like that.
Yeah, I've seen some freakouts. Well, I mean, it just depends where you go.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, if you go to Applebee's, you're probably gonna get freak out. You know?
Yeah.
But like, I think like there is, now you got me. Now I'm sitting here trying to figure out like what.
You're going to bartending school?
No. You said you want to be a celebrity bartender.
I do want to be a celebrity bartender. I think it would work. I do feel like somebody could hit me with this about anything, and I could roll with it.
I think like a thing I'm interested in, and maybe, you know, whoever we have left on the line can even say it, but like I am interested in what the coolest jobs are.
The coolest job.
Coolest. Because bartender seems like super high up there in cool job.
I just love when they like you, I'm just like, yes, I did it.
Yeah, cool jobs.
Or they like jump ahead of other people, like they make eye contact with you, and like you see them come across the bar to go help you out, and you're like, yes, this is perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm a favorite.
Yeah.
Teacher's pet. Bring an apple for your bartender.
Cool people do bartending. That is for sure. That is a cool person's job.
All right. Next call.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight? How's it going?
Yo, what's up?
Hey, who's this?
Hey, it's Olympia Mikey. I called last week. I like Bernie Sanders and Kevin Nash.
Olympia
up,
came
Mikey?
back. We're trying to get an Olympia streak going. Our earlier Olympia caller dropped out, but you just picked up the torch.
Hell yeah. Hey, maybe I was one of my homies. It's a small town. There's like 30,000 people. So
I want to go. I want to hear your disjointed angular music live in person.
What's the music?
Olympia was that's all we're like what other fucking Chris Cornell and Melvins and Kurt Cobain. That's like grunge came from there.
I think that whole thing's over there though.
I know. I live in the past.
Is there still any of that stuff there?
There's still some good music. I'm sorry, go ahead. I was gonna remember what their name is.
Oh, people love Nirvana here. I said I don't listen to Nirvana at work, and I work at a restaurant. I'm a dishwasher. And this waiter was all, oh, you don't like Nirvana. Like, he thought, like, you'd have to be, like, some pretentious opera fan.
So,
to, like,
yeah.
Nirvana.
What do you like?
So, like,
though?
Kurt Cobain is
Just,
like
not-
Woody Hayes in Columbus.
I'm too young for that.
You're too young. That's
Okay.
fair. That's great. That's
That
a
is
great
fair.
attitude. That's a great attitude to have. Don't cling. If you cling on to scenes of the past, you're just going to be miserable because you're never going to be able to be a part of it. You need to get the scenes that now you can go be a part of.
Everybody.
So I'm here to give my my street fight exclusive of the Bernie Sanders rally.
First, Portugal the Man played. I know that, right?
Oh.
Yeah, Portugal was there. It was like a whole bunch of soul things. I don't know what Portugal is, but he was cool. I kind of I got 7 of my friends to go. I didn't think I'd be able to do that.
You got 7 friends?
Because my friends are like anarcho-communists.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
just like friends Yeah, just like people I know from Olympia, because everyone, Olympia is like a weird town, and everyone just kind of knows everybody, and all my friends like took the 12:30 bus down to the Tacoma Dome, which is completely free, by the way.
That's awesome.
Can I just say, Portugal the man's from Alaska.
Okay.
Wasilla. That's wild. What was the vibe like there?
Vibe check. It was, I don't go to concerts. I just go to wrestling shows, so I'm going to have to compare it to wrestling.
Okay, we can do the conversion.
Basically, like, the opening acts, like, Pramila Jayapal, who's, like, a socialist congresswoman, got, like, a Stone Cold Steve Austin pop.
Wow.
Like,
damn.
Wow.
Nuts.
Wait,
that's the biggest.
I was gonna say, yeah. Stone Cold, for people that don't know, I mean, I don't know what is that. The Beatles getting back together. I mean, that's the loudest
it's one
you
of
can
those.
get.
It's one of those like that Shea Stadium thing you always hear about, where it was like damaging people's ears and shit.
Yeah,
that's Stone Cold pops were crazy. So I can't imagine what Bernie got. How did?
Yeah. Well, you know what cheap heat is, right?
Yes.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of that. Like Bernie had like hype man just like roaming around. They weren't like saying anything, but they were just like pumping their arms up, like "Let's go, let's go." But they weren't saying anything.
Were they plants in the audience or just on? Because here's the thing about politics, though, you have to do cheap heat for politics. That's the only. That's the whole job.
Tell the listeners what cheap heat is that don't watch wrestling.
What's not cheap heat? Cheap heat's probably the wrong. Cheap heat's probably the wrong way to say it because it's like pissing people. Like cheap heat for Bernie Sanders would be like
millionaires, billionaires.
Yeah, he would be like the millionaires and billionaires are trying to stop our movement, and then people just flip out about it. That's cheap heat.
Cheap heat is saying something that the audience is automatically going to be mad about or makes them angry.
They also have to do a lot of cheap pops because listen, you're not a comedian. You know what I mean? You're not a rock star. You're not a rapper. So all you really have to get the crowd going is like for Bernie Sanders to be like, and then we're going to give y'all Medicare for all. And the crowd will fucking lose their shit. Start tearing their hair out.
Yeah, you got to have bars.
Yeah. You have to do the cheap shit when you're a politician. It just, that job, I mean, like, I think it's pretty incredible that he is doing this like basically arena tour anyway. Like that to me is like, can you imagine you're a 70-something-year-old dude that wears like Kohl's suits and you have to go stand at a podium in a fucking arena that's packed and like give a speech? I would be freaked.
I didn't think it'd be so packed. I had work that day, so I got separated from my friends. Because they weren't letting people on. My friends like took the 12:30 bus because the event started at 6. So they like got on the front, the front floor, so they could see Bernie Sanders' wrinkles. And
Mosh pit,
they were there with like the MAGA chuds who brought their like Kekistan flag.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it wasn't that big a deal.
No, but that's gonna be fun though when that happens. That's stuff that gives me hope that there's gonna be some weirdness this summer. Some MAGA chud showed up with Kekistan flags at the rally. They got there early too, which is like, you were gonna do that, you should get there late. You know what I mean? Like, you should get there late if you're gonna do the like, I'm gonna unfurl my Kekistan flag at the Bernie Sanders rally. I would come late.
Were people throwing C batteries at him and shit?
I don't think you can get away with that shit, dude.
Some guy tried to snatch the Kekistan flag.
Smart.
It was some alt-right flag. I don't know. It may have been for some other big alt-right country. Yeah, some guy tried to snatch it. They had a tug-of-war over it. And then, like, 6 cops came out of nowhere and, like, were like, we need to get the principal out of here. They, like, formed a barricade around the MAGA chud guy like he was, like, the president. And they had to get him out.
Okay, that's awesome. I would have spit on him or thrown shit at him.
Yeah, we should do that at a Trump thing and just see what it feels like.
It wasn't that kind of rowdiness like a wrestling show.
Oh, yeah.
It was a lot of lot of older people there, to be honest.
I know. That's the
like,
funny
I sat
thing is people
in
say
the senior section.
that's the funny thing is like people don't realize that there's these fucking like really old hippie type people that like Ben and Jerry and stuff that have been down with Bernie Sanders for like 40 years. Like they don't even think it because we all think like every old person is just gonna vote for Trump.
No, there's good old people. I don't think I haven't written off an entire generation.
I have actually written off an entire. No, I'm just saying that like Bernie Sanders, his biggest strongest demographic is young people. So you would expect to get there and it'd be mostly young people. And then when you get there, I've been to like I didn't go into the rally because I didn't feel like it. But I went and walked around a rally he did here at the Schottenstein Center, which is a big arena. And it was just like, I mean, there's a lot of hippies, really, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
I mean, and like people like us. It was basically people like us and hippies. And then like, that's where it's a Bernie Sanders rally is where the term small business tyrant came from.
Uh-huh.
That's where I saw my boss at the camera store holding a Bernie Sanders sign. And I was like, motherfucker, you know what you could do? Like, you could raise my wage to $15 an hour. Like, that's fully within your power, motherfucker. Yeah. Why are you waiting for the government to make you if you believe in it, you know? So how did
the cable guy was paying you $8 an hour, right, Brian?
No, cable guy started me at $9.50 and I ended at $16.50. The camera store was paying me. I asked for $9 an hour and they said we can give you $8.50.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I made $8 an hour in 2014. That was rough. But
you can't live on it.
I disagree. I disagree about seniors not going for Bernie because he got that Dick Van Dyke nomination and he's 98. It's really fun because Dick Van Dyke was like, I'm 20 years old and Bernie, and I could run for president if I wanted to. And I'm like, that's great, Dick Van Dyke, but you're lying.
Was it Dick Van Dyke or Jerry? I thought it was Jerry Van Dyke.
No,
Dick Van Dyke's the old one.
Well, I know Jerry. You know what I mean?
No, who's Jerry Van Dyke?
Jerry Van Dyke was on Coach, and he was a Big Lots guy. He was a Big Lots pitch man.
No, this is the dude that danced in fucking Mary Poppins.
Wow. I just assumed Dick Van Dyke was dead.
That was why it was great to see him. He looked wonderful.
Me too.
He looked spry.
Oh, Jerry Van Dyke is a legend.
He is just a straight fucking legend.
Let's get Jerry Van Dyke too if we can.
Yeah, I'm checking to see if he's endorsed anybody for president. Okay. Just Dick Van Dyke so far. Jerry has not.
The Van Dykes.
Let's fucking try to get Jerry Van Dyke on the show and see. Dick Van Dyke, though, the saddest thing about...
Why do you know his little brother? Why do you not know?
Coach and the Big Lot.
Coach. Okay.
The funny thing about the Dick Van Dyke thing that I really liked was that, like, he also posted, I think on the same day, that his girlfriend, very young, his girlfriend has always wanted him to go on the Howard Stern show, so he got a hold of Gary Dell'Abate and they turned him down.
What?
Howard's not having Dick.
Listeners would know who Dick Van Dyke is.
Well, I mean, if anybody knows, it would be Howard Stern.
I know Dick Van Dyke is because he was on an episode of Scooby-Doo.
Oh, yes. Yes. He was good in Scooby-Doo. He was great in Mary Poppins.
I can't think
he
of...
was like, Dick Van Dyke, and it's funny.
Yeah.
Scooby was going nutty for Dick Van Dyke.
Dude, Scooby-Doo used to always have, like, older stars on it that you'd be like, oh, okay. Like,
yeah.
Casey Kasem's here. No, it wasn't Casey. He was Shaggy.
He was the voice, but yeah.
But there was, like, a couple people that they would have on, and you'd be like, Darren from Bewitched is on this episode. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever.
Okay.
Because my favorite Scooby-Doos were the Hollywood ones. Because when I was a kid, there were 2 Scooby-Doos on every day. One of them was a Hollywood one, and you could tell it was a Hollywood one because of the opening.
Oh.
You could tell it was gonna have a celebrity on it. They like have the Harlem Globetrotters or something on there. And then the other Scooby-Doo was just Scooby-Doo, no frills, just all Scooby-Doo. You know, and I really like the Hollywood ones. You know,
yeah.
I like a good guest star.
Those are definitely better.
Yep.
Yeah, when they would
Even
get
though I
sent.
have no idea who Dick Van Dyke was, but we was going nuts for him, so I have to care.
Why would a kid's cartoon have Sonny and Cher in it, or Mama,
I know.
or Mama Cass?
I know, I know. And you'd be watching it, like I'd be watching it when I was like 8, and I'm like, who the fuck? Why you got Flock of Seagulls or Poison on here or something,
Yeah.
man? Shit. That's
Yeah.
because all entertainment was made by cynical adults at that time,
Yeah.
instead of kids, you know, because they just, that's exactly what it is. They probably have people from MASH on there. Oh, just get fucking Alan Alda on this. Oh, you're Alan Alda. You know, or oh, Alan Alda. So excited. Here's my favorite on MASH. The show that kids hate so much that they run out of the room when the theme song plays. Hated MASH when I was a kid.
MASH was the worst. MASH was like throwing off a stink
fuck
bomb.
MASH.
It cleared the room. Like every kid was like, "All right, let's go outside. We watched too many cartoons. This horse shit's on."
You would be hearing boo, 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 boo. And my dad liked MASH. So my dad would be like, fucking don't you turn that channel. I'm like, I'm out of here, you know. You lost me.
Time to go.
Did Bernie do okay though? How was Bernie's speech?
He played the greatest hits, like you said he probably was going to do. Here's the most significant thing about Bernie is zero mentions of any of the candidates besides Bloomberg.
Oh, nice.
But you got to give Bloomberg shit too. I agree with that move. You know,
Bernie was really smart. He was like Donald Trump. He shit talked Donald Trump, sandwiched shit talking Bloomberg in it, and tied it back into Trump. He was really good at like making you think Bloomberg and Trump are the same person.
that's
great.
good. I mean, I think they are really. I mean, we all kind of agree with that. I think. But
well, I mean, it wouldn't be as embarrassing. That's the difference. Is that like people are embarrassed with the way the government looks right now, with the way Trump is running it. With Bloomberg, it would just be a well-oiled machine of oppression.
right, yeah. No, I don't think
Bloomberg's like the heels from the Caddyshack, and Trump's Rodney Dangerfield, and Rodney Dangerfield would win every state.
I would vote for Rodney Dangerfield though if he was alive. I love Rodney Dangerfield. Rodney Dangerfield would probably be pro Bernie too. I think like those old school guys are all socialists. You know. I'm looking at this. I'm looking
He
like
did. Rodney Dangerfield.
I turn on Scooby Doo one day after school and Phyllis Diller's on there.
Yeah.
So funny. Don Knotts though I did like.
You like Don Knotts on there?
Dude, everybody likes Don Knotts. You fucking find me a person that doesn't like Don Knotts, and then I'll fucking punch him in the face for not liking Don Knotts.
Wow.
Yep.
Aggressive.
Watch, now somebody's going to call and be like, you know, Don Knotts was actually racist and also Me Too. Like, oh, fuck Don Knotts. Sandy Duncan.
Sorry, Brian. I don't know who. Only know Don Knotts through Scooby Doo. Hollywood, because I saw all those episodes. I have no
How old?
idea who he is.
So you're not old enough to have been alive when the Andy Griffith Show was on 47 times a day?
I'm 29, but
No,
you know,
you were Seinfeld, Friends, Simpsons. I think.
No way.
What was
What
the
about
syndicated show?
did Gilligan's Island? Did that ever bleed into your purview?
No, that's mine.
That's for old people.
I watched Gilligan's also. I had to fight against MASH the same way I had to fight against Gilligan's.
See,
I
for
knew
me,
Don Knotts from being on the Gilligan show, which I hated more than anything in the world.
I guess like what I'm saying is there's like when I was a teenager, every teenager has their like previous generation old sitcom, and like this is proven currently. So I watched The Brady Bunch, I watched Welcome Back, Kotter, and I watched the Simpsons when it started to syndicate. Right, my daughter now, she watches Friends and The Office every day.
She's so lame.
Yeah, every day she watches it for 2, 3, 4 hours after school. She'll just watch. She's seen every episode of Friends 3 times, and she loves The Office. She watches it all the time. You didn't have stuff like that was like previous generation TV shows that you just like, because you got out of school, you would sit down and like just watch it, or were you internet age?
I watched like black guys doing voiceovers over like Marvel cartoons, like stupid internet videos.
The Juggernaut? You talking about the
I
Juggernaut?
know. The only interesting thing about Welcome Back, Kotter to me is that one guy's named Juan Epstein, and Jeffrey Epstein's a meme now. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's kind of funny.
You know,
Yeah,
the truth
I think all
is,
those old shows suck, and that people
just didn't have
that
options.
People need to just watch some bullshit YouTube videos because they're better for your soul.
We didn't have it. We didn't have options like that. We just had to go home and watch. We had to pick something on TV.
Yeah, we didn't watch Unforgivable.
But I would. I
think
would now.
I'm gonna give you my last thoughts on the convention, then rally. Then I'm gonna let someone else talk because I've been on for a long time.
Thank you.
I think my favorite part is when Kashama Sowant, who is like a socialist Seattle Congress, or she's a socialist. Here's how they announced her. It's like, here's Kashama, the socialist, and then there's a huge pop. Council member from Seattle. Like, everyone just popped huge when they said socialist, and it was just really fucking cool.
Yeah, that is cool. It's good to hear that happening. I hope it continues.
The cheapest pop ever.
I know, it's great, and it freaks out the squares.
Like, Bloomberg got more heat than Trump, and the Democratic establishment got the most like sustained like just people going nuts at the night when Bernie said, "We'll make the Democratic establishment nervous." So overall, I'm very glad I went because it was free.
That's cool. I remember one of the scariest moments of watching 2016 was when I think when Trump was doing Republican National Convention and all the people were just so like rampant and crazy and were just like, boo, lock her up, and like chanting and stuff, like wild hooting mobs. But now that I know we have a wild hooting mob on our side, I feel very much more comfortable.
I got one question.
What's that?
I got one question for you.
Uh-huh.
Are you tired of winning yet? Are you sick of winning? We're winning so much, I'm getting bored of it, quite frankly. Like being up by Nevada by like 26% points over Biden, and Buttigieg is getting 0 delegates. I'm so fucking sick of winning. This shit's old.
I mean, I am still very skeptical as to what ends up happening in the end, so I could see a few more wins and feel pretty good.
I'm not counting that. It needs to be decisive the whole way. I am also very skeptical still about what could happen.
I'm gonna give a plug and I'm gonna peace out.
All right,
here's my plug. Go to youtube.com, type in Samoa Joe versus Necro Butcher.
Okay.
Watch the whole damn thing.
Great match. I've turned a lot of people onto that. Yep.
Yeah, you turned me onto that, and that's why Samoa Joe is my second favorite wrestler.
And I was watching him doing the headbutts last week.
Yep. That's nuts. Well, thanks for calling in.
Yes.
Later.
Peace. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I'm glad that there's people that are excited and whipped up into a fury. That's what we need for sure. It's nice to hear.
How great is it, though? I mean, really, truly, when we started in 2011, socialist was not an applause line.
No, I mean, it was still, it was not even something people were talking about. That was something that was pipe dream, not an option type stuff.
Yeah, me and you, I mean,
that's why we
were saying, we were getting yelled at for saying, like, some of these ideas about, like, single payer and like just radical restructuring of society. People were like, you just can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would say the reason that we wanted to just get rid of everything is because this type of stuff was completely shut out from the conversation. So to see it now, I mean, I don't think Democrats are going to get to decide. I mean, they're going to do what they can, but I do know that there's tens of thousands of people wherever he goes, and they are activated to take over this side of the party. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Over the next coming months.
This Nathan J. Robinson can kiss my ass.
I don't know who that is.
Well, he's just posting about how he wants to start a left news channel.
I know, he's an idiot.
And it's like, fuck you, dude. Guess what? There is one. And it starts, well, not a news channel, but it's
There's
like
news.
There will be news. Yeah, put on by the good Sams.
Yeah.
You know? And me and Brad will probably do some kind of news. We'll talk about like,
there will be more.
I mean, we're going to be interviewing like McDonald's workers and stuff on this show.
No, I saw his thing. It was the stupid. All I went through all the tweets and just replied to everybody that said means TV.
Yeah. There are a lot of people saying it. I just.
All right, last call of the night. God. You ready for this?
Last call, yep.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to?
Hello.
Howdy.
How are you doing today?
We're pretty good. We're doing pretty good. We might get off a little early. We're about to hit the old time clock and slide down the tail of the dinosaur and yell yabba dabba doo and get in our car powered by. All right, I'm like exclusively talking in old pop culture this show. Jerry Van Dyke. What's up? Who are we talking to?
Well, this is Zach from Minnesota, and I like before on the last call, you guys were talking about like old shows that were sort of sitcoms from the previous generation that people watch.
Yeah,
mine was definitely like The Simpsons.
Mine too. I mean, well, okay, you can't
You
say
were
the
around
Simpsons,
for The Simpsons,
but in my 20s, I watched.
Yeah, you were around. Yeah,
that's true. Because I have a very specific memory of coming home from work every day for years and watching 2 episodes of The Simpsons.
5 to 5:30, 5:30 to 6.
Yes, I did it every day, and then they switched it with like Everybody Loves Raymond, and I was like, I'm fucking out of here.
Yeah,
you know, because that is the current generation. I don't like it. You know, like
I miss when like comedies were like had like jokes in them, and that like there were a bunch of them. Like the to me, like the peak of that sort of sitcom and TV comedy has got to be the Larry Sanders Show and The Simpsons. Those are like
God,
like
that show really, Larry Sanders Show. I'm always like, I totally forget about the Larry Sanders Show, and then I go on a binge and watch like 8 of them, and I'm like, this is the funniest show that's ever been. That show is like, so funny.
It's so genius. Like I'm watching the show and I'm like, where are these writers? Like, where did they go? Because now all of like, you know, I like The Office. Does it make you feel good? Yeah, but is it that funny? Are there that many great?
There are
jokes?
some funny
like,
shit. I'll say this: like the Steve Carell Office, I gave it a lot of shit when it was airing because it wasn't Ricky Gervais, but it ages. Some of the stuff doesn't age well, but only because they did a lot of like current pop culture meme stuff on that show. But there's some stuff on that show. Here's one of the funniest things ever on a sitcom is in one of the first episodes of The Office. It might have even been in the second season. This is some season. Michael Scott's like standing in his office and he has a fucking a picture of James Dean hanging on the wall, and he's like, always looked up to this guy, Luke Perry. Like that, and just walks away. And it was so fucking mind-blowingly funny to me because it was so goofy. I think The Office, I'm like really glad that Gwen is, there are way shitty, like she could be watching The Big Bang Theory. Yeah. You know, that is there.
Oh, I mean, that's true, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
But like, my issue with The Office is that it's like, I feel like it's sort of making it like, oh, working in an office is fun and goofy and everyone gets along. It's this great thing. And it's like, it's a shitty experience. That's what's so great about the UK office. It's just a bunch of sad, broken, pathetic people just trying to make their way through the shifts, and that's why that show is so genius to me. So that's why I have some like just issues with the concept of like the US office.
That is true. Like they do make working in an office sound like the best time in the world.
I don't think so.
I do.
I think there's subtext there. Like when Ryan comes in and he's like super young and he's an asshole and then he just gets to tell everybody what to do. I feel like that's signaling to everybody that's had that happen to them, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like Steve Carell's entire existence is like every bad boss you've had.
Yes, but think
it's cheeky.
There is like the Jim and Dwight stuff on The Office borders on kind of too silly at times, but it's okay. My daughter actually weirdly, we talk about this stuff all the time because that's what she's watching, and I've seen them all. And she's like, you know what? If I could edit out Nard Dog in every episode, I would just. She hates Ed Helms. I don't know how to tell her that Ed Helms isn't that bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ed Helms is in Cedar Rapids.
She doesn't get it.
She hates him. I think because he's a rich guy, and I've trained her so well to be like, to not like Harvard rich chud type.
But it's parody. You got to explain parody.
Well, she just hates him. She hates the singing, you know?
Also parody.
She's like me.
Yeah.
That barbershop quartet stuff, that's purely me coming out of her.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, she just doesn't like that character. But it is funny. Like, it is funny that these kids have like all the options in the world now to watch when you talk about YouTube, we talk about Disney Plus, because my daughter likes to nostalgic go back and watch like Hannah Montana and shit like that sometimes. And like they have like all these options to watch stuff, and they still, I've been thinking about this a lot, they still choose to watch the sitcom from the previous generation. And I think that's like it feels like ingrained in like it's very weirdly ingrained. They also watch The New Girl a lot. And like that show's actually funny. I'm going to say it. I don't want to be like a nerd or anything like that, but I've many times laughed out loud at that show, but I will never admit it to my wife. And well, she's seen me. She's always like, you like this show. I'm like, no, I don't. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Fuck this show. You know? But I've gotten a lot of laughs out of it.
Yeah, I think I just like watching like The Simpsons or the Larry Sanders Show. To me, nothing can come close to those when it comes to like comedy writing, and that's what I really like in TV shows like that, where you have these characters and like the writers know exactly what is funny about them and like how to put them in these situations. And I don't know. I have a hard time with a lot of like the modern sitcoms and how they're just very focused on sincerity and like making you feel good and stuff, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I said that about also,
dude,
like I've been
One Day at a Time is the shit. That's a good one.
Yeah. Well, no, here's what I think. I had this conversation also the other day about anti-hero stuff too. Like I think that like something happened where things got kind of weirdly mixed up, like where like the people that make this stuff sort of forgot what people like. So when you talk about like, when you talk about a sitcom, I think that like I did. I'm not speaking for you, obviously, Brett, and we all fell in love with like Arrested Development and The British Office and all this stuff. And these are kind of goofy shows, but they have a sort of sincerity and a seriousness to them too. Then we also liked Louie, which some episodes didn't have any jokes in them.
Yeah.
And like, I think that they've now convinced you that like there needs to be some sense of grittiness to a comedy show in order for you to enjoy it. You can't just make pure funny comedy. And that's the anti-hero thing comes in is like is what I was thinking about how like a lot of the superheroes, a lot of the heroes in movies and stuff are anti-heroes now. And they're not, I talked about this with Diggstown, right? Is like they're an anti-hero and the guy's an anti-hero, but he's so clearly a good guy. James Woods is so clearly the good guy in the show. The bad guy is despicable and hideous. And yes, James Woods in this movie is doing crime and shit like that, but he's doing it for the right good reasons. And like there's a big separation between the bad guy and the good guy. And like I feel like what has happened since something like Breaking Bad is that now everybody feels like they have to explain to you, no, the hero is just as bad as the villain, but you like him. Isn't that fucking twisted? You know what I mean? And I think like those are two things that have been like the pure comedy show has been sort of erased. I mean, they canceled One Day at a Time, you know, which I tried to watch and just I had to run out of the room.
It's so fucking funny.
I know.
If you like just rolling jokes all the time, I like snappy dialogue. I prefer corny shows.
You like laugh tracks?
Yeah, I don't mind laugh tracks.
I turn it off.
I don't know if I do or
I'm
not, actually.
I'm not a fan.
I turn it off as soon as I hear one.
I don't know if I do.
One day at a time had one.
Does it? Then I don't mind them.
Really?
Yeah.
They're hard.
Crazy is that like there's some versions where it's like overseas they didn't get a laugh track, and then over here they did. Like for example, MASH. In like Europe, there's no laugh track, so it's just a show.
What? There was a laugh. I never thought about there being a laugh track. Why would you put a fucking laugh track on MASH when it's filmed like a movie sort of thing? It's not like a soundstage show. God, I hated that show. You'll never. There were two things. When you're like 7, is like the worst thing in the world is the news. It's like when the news comes on. It's. I just remember like the news would come on, like, fuck I'd be so mad that anybody would watch. Like, who even wants to watch the news? There's cartoons and there's TV shows, and you're sitting here and you're watching the fucking news. I would be so fucking mad about it. And MASH, those were the two shows. Yeah, anything my parents liked, I hated MASH. Too. And I
also hated MASH, and I'm like way younger than you guys, and it would just be playing on one of those old TV channels, and my dad would turn and be like, "No, go back to Boomerang, no."
I probably never even watched a drama until I was, NYPD Blue. I started watching that when I was like 12, maybe.
Yeah,
but like
when you grew up,
I was only pretending to like it, so I looked like an adult. You know what I mean? I was like, this NYPD Blue, I would read in like Entertainment Weekly, I'd be like, this NYPD Blue, it's really gritty. I'm watching it, it's like more of an adult flavored thing, but I am a young kid, right, but I have an adult sensibility that enjoys gritty police dramas. So, thanks for calling in. That was very fun.
Yeah, thanks.
Have a good night. Yeah, dude.
You too.
What did you watch when you were a kid? When you were like a teen after school?
I hated Brady Bunch. I fucking thought the Brady Bunch was the worst. So corny.
It was just on.
I hated MASH. When I was a teen, I watched maybe what would it be, Kids in the Hall. That was probably something before I was there. I thought Kids in the Hall was the greatest thing in the world.
We're so different.
I thought Upright Citizens Brigade. That was the comedy that I liked.
I didn't. I like it now a little bit. I've watched some of the sketches back now. I liked Mr. Show, I guess. See,
I didn't watch Mr. Show at all, or what's the one that all the Reno 911 people are from.
Oh, I didn't like Reno 911 very much.
Oh, that was my favorite show of all. It's probably one of my favorites of all time.
The funny thing about me and you is that like I have the sensibility of like I like
the state is what they were called.
Yes, I like kind of like what's the word? Like it's hard to explain, but I like sort of a brutal kind of truth thing.
Yeah, you just complained about that though.
But what I'm saying is that's my sensibility. That's what I do, and that's like sort of what I respond to in a way. And you respond to such like wacky shit. That's why I'm excited about the TV show. That's why I'm excited about the Street Fight TV show, because it's probably the first thing we're gonna do that really mixes the two things. Because Street Fight, we do Street Fight. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like on the podcast, and like I think like when people see the ideas that Brett has come up with and that I've come up with him, when we have a budget,
hopefully
forget about when Jesse and the Jessies comes out, everybody's gonna
be talking about it.
Everybody in town is gonna be talking about Jesse and the Jessies, my favorite band. We made up when we were on the 4th of July, I think. And we smoked an enormous blunt, one of those when you pack a Black and Mild.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like a fucking quarter. And we stood outside and we smoked the whole thing. And we went to the fireworks, and me and Brett thought like the funniest thing in the world would be a band called Jesse and the Jessies. And we're going to make that happen someday.
And every person that joined had to change their name to Jesse, and they were all named Jesse.
I love Jesse's.
Jesse's a great name. If you're rocking and rolling, if it's like 5 Jessies roll up, I mean, trouble is coming down.
It is a really rock and roll name.
It is.
Too. It's funny because I'm doing March Madness this Tuesday with Jesse Farrar.
Yes.
With old JF. And he's like the funniest
squirrely.
dude in the world. And he is squirrely.
He's very Jesse.
He's very but he's not a rock and roll guy at all.
Still is, though. I mean, it's still
Really?
just the uncontrollable nature of him and his ability to keep rocking and rolling with what he's doing. He's a Jesse. He's very Jesse.
He is. I have to say, I've met almost everybody in our kind of circle. I want to meet John Hendren really bad.
Yes, that would be a dream.
That's one of the ones that's out there.
I would
still.
put that on my LinkedIn.
I want to meet John Hendren really bad.
I want weed guy boner 420 too.
Yeah, I think we could beat him. I talk to him a lot in DMs.
Okay,
so. But I want Jesse and Mike are without a doubt the 2 weirdest dudes I've ever met. They're incredible.
Right.
And they're so funny in a way that never stops. Like if you like YKS and you listen to it and you're like, these guys are so funny when they're on. It's like, no, like they're not even on.
Yeah.
Really. That's like everything they say is like this. I don't know how they get through. Like, they've done episodes where they went and saw the Huckabee show live.
Uh-huh.
Because they film it in Nashville. They've gone and done it twice. And I'm like, how the fuck did... And Mike gets real high and then gets nervous when he's in the Huckabee show thing. And I'm like, how the fuck do people not be like, these guys are fucking around?
Yeah, what is this? Get out here with your fucking grundle-ass shoes in here.
Your bits. You're just doing bits. They're funny. Yeah. They're great dudes. I can't wait to talk about Bill Simmons with Jesse Farrar.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Bill Simmons a fucking weirdo, dude.
Yeah, but also...
be like, I really like this basketball player. Like, what he really reminds me of is Luke Perry from 90210. And you're like, what does this mean? And his movie taste... If you think my movie taste is bad, you never will watch a movie that I recommend because you hate all the movies I
watched
recommend.
Diggstown.
You did watch Diggstown. That's true. But this dude does a show called...
Sorry, but the show has ended.
So this dude does a show called The Rewatchables. We haven't hit our time yet, Brett, and I'm having a good time. I'm rolling, so I want to...
I'm not complaining.
So he does a show called The Rewatchables, right, where he talks about rewatchable movies.
Who?
Bill Simmons, the guy I'm profiling on March Madness. It's like Higher Learning, good movie. Actually.
Yeah, great
that
movie.
That was a big deal.
I'm gonna rewatch that one soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big one for me too.
The Breakfast Club. It's like, you got to do a podcast about the Breakfast Club.
That is
Heat. They do Heat.
People like Heat.
Dunkirk. He's like just the most conventional movie guy. You know what I mean? Oh wow. Okay, I'm gonna listen to this show now. I'm excited. He did Happy Gilmore with the Safdie brothers. I'll check that out. So
don't do an ad for that idiot's podcast.
Sure, he's a dipshit.
It's probably not gonna be good.
No, he's weird, dude. He's the least weird of the 5 guys I'm doing. But I mean, all of them are fucking weird, so that's like a low bar,
right?
You know,
in sports.
So come and see us Friday night, please. We're gonna put on a fucking banger of a show for you this Friday night.
True.
We got a lot of good ideas, and you're the first people that get to see it. Not only are you the first people to get to see it, but you're the only people that are gonna see the full hour.
Yeah.
And nobody else. Well, Pittsburgh might get that.
Some people will.
But Columbus and Pittsburgh's probably it. You know, we're taking Jake Flores out to Florida, and Hellfire is the next tour, so we're only gonna be doing half-hour sets.
Yeah. So
please come to the Columbus show. I think you'll really enjoy it. And
tickets at store.streetfightradio.com.
In Pittsburgh on March 18th. Come see us. Day after my wedding anniversary. We're gonna roll in there. We're gonna do a show. We're gonna hang out with the listeners. We're gonna drive home that night.
Great.
And Brett's gonna be miserable.
Can't wait.
But
I'll sleep in the car.
And Florida is going to be announced this week.
Okay.
All the ticket links. And like we said earlier, if you're a smart internet sleuth, they are not announced yet officially, but you can pick up New York and Philly tickets for the Hellfire 2 tour.
Yeah, if you just check Johnny Brenda's and Littlefield's website.
Yep.
Thanks for listening to Street Fight. We will see you on Wednesday. No, we won't see you on Wednesday night. We're going to be at the Means TV launch in Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah, I have maybe an idea for this. Maybe something we could do this week that people would be excited about.
What's that?
Put out. Well, I was going to tell you like off the air.
Okay, a big surprise.
Well, in case you didn't like the idea, it's not that big. Don't freak out.
Small surprise.
Yeah.
Not even really a surprise. A switch up, but this Wednesday we're going to be in Detroit, Michigan at the Means TV launch. It's actually happening. Socialist streaming is coming to you. We are going to have a show on there in March. The Sams have a show on there right now. Trillbillies are going to do something, but there is a lot of great content over on Means TV, and it's finally happening. And I want to rent a tuxedo, but I probably won't. But I should. Maybe I will. What do you think? Should I rent a tuxedo? This is Street Fight.
You fucking look silly.
I know. I want to look silly.
Okay. Yeah, go for it, man. I'm not.
Peace. I gotta shut it off. Pee my pants.
Oh, this guy's a fucking loser. Oh, Red Steez. So my idea